Mike Storey in his triumphant return. You were gone for like 10 days, bro.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to get out of town, put it all behind you.
How long were you actually at Disney? Was it like 7 days?
It was. So we took a day in between. We took a rest day. And then there was one day where we just went to actually one of my, Peterson, his sister lives down in Orlando, and she is the director of a kids musical troupe. So they did Newsies at this theater downtown. So we went downtown and we went and saw that and then hung out with her and some people there. So that was fun. So 7 days, I think, total.
6 days, 7 nights. Isn't that a terrible movie?
That's a movie with Anne Heche and Harrison Ford, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they definitely bang, don't they? They bang.
Even though she's
a better bang.
Well, she's gay in real life.
She's a dude now? Is she got Elliot Page on us?
She's a lesbian, Anne Heche.
Oh, well, nowadays I feel like if anyone just goes that way, they go all the way in transition, which is a story for another day. Anyways, week 16 in the goddamn books. We are 1 week away, dude, from the end of the fantasy season. Wild ass ride. A lot of crazy performances. Tonight's game, holy shit, dude. I have a hot take for you real quick. I know Phillip Rivers, the game ended on a dud there with that pick, but Phillip Rivers slinging the ball. Now, he is old. He was old when last time we saw him when he was 40. That was 5 years ago. I think Daniel Jones is terrible. This just showed that this offense, Shane Steichen, the weapons are elite, and anyone could run this offense. And I guess it shows how bad Anthony Richardson is. You kind of see where I'm going with this?
I do.
The fact that he can come in and just dominate.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that, though, because I think that I think it is this San Francisco secondary that, he was definitely better this game. He was more on target. He was more precise, but he still made plenty of off-target throws. He's got no arm strength whatsoever.
No.
So I just think that the San Francisco defense is going to bounce him really early in the playoffs.
Oh, 100%. I was just telling Eric, I was like, I think the Bears are going to beat him next week. But what I mean by that is he's functional. Phillip Rivers right now is functional. I know he's got the brain power, but the dude in terms of talent, like physical talent, like athleticism, arm strength is a 0 out of 10. It's literally a 0. I've never seen a weaker arm. He had a weak arm when he was in his prime. So that just shows you that Daniel Jones was in a great position this year. And also on the other end of the spectrum, Anthony Richardson, he had the same team last year and he couldn't even complete a screen pass. So
dude, I warn people of him coming out of Florida. I'm like, there's a lot of question marks around his ability to actually run an NFL offense. And here we are. Now, what you got to think that's it for Rivers, right? They're not going to keep playing him. They're out of the playoffs.
They shouldn't. And I think, speaking of Anthony Richardson real quick, the word raw, like Urban Dictionary and those things, sometimes they have pictures next to them. It should just be a picture of Anthony Richardson. Raw. It's just raw, Raw is another word for bad. But I actually have hope for Anthony Richardson. He's 22 years old, Story. So he needs to get out of Indy, I think. Just send him to the fucking Vikings. That'd be great.
I don't know that he
Not
worked
for Justin
Jefferson quite well. I don't know that he would fit. He feels like Cleveland bound to me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, another quarterback to that carousel.
Okay.
How about Christian McCaffrey going to play every single game this season? And it's not like it's one thing to stay healthy, Story, and play every game. It's another thing to be on a record pace. And it's not just screen passes. He's running up the middle. They refuse to use Brian Robinson at all. And he's not really slowing down, but he's got to roll an ankle at some point, right?
Yeah, but look at the difference between how they're utilizing Christian McCaffrey and how they're utilizing Saquon Barkley. They will run McCaffrey up the middle, and a lot of times it doesn't work because running up the middle is it portends a bad omen. It just doesn't work very often in the NFL. I get that teams can do it, and you got to keep the defenses honest, et cetera, but look at how they're getting McCaffrey outside and in space. And that's how Saquon Barkley should be utilized, but they're not smart enough to do that. It's the same problem that we see with Derrick Henry, where John Harbaugh Todd Monken refuses to get him in space. And they don't run outside zone plays. They don't run pitches. I'd love to see a counter where he runs outside, but we don't see any of that kind of stuff. And it's bland vanilla offenses, and it's easily dissectable by defenses, and that's the problem that we see with a lot of offenses this year, I think.
All right, ready to get to our 2 big things from the weekend?
Yeah. I'll let you go first,
all right.
since I'm
I'll go first.
back into this thing.
Yeah. I got you. So I did mine yesterday. It was about Chris Olave, but I'm gonna go more macro on this one. We don't know who the hell is good in this year. We don't know. I do know the Chiefs aren't in it, but like if you look at the top teams, let's look at the standings here. We're looking at Denver, who just lost to Jacksonville, handedly, mind you. Which shout out Trevor Lawrence. New England, who was going to lose that game to Baltimore if Lamar Jackson didn't get hurt. That would have been 2 losses in a row. Don't trust that defense. Drake May, I still think is a little raw. I mean, it's not Anthony Richardson raw.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is the hottest team right now, but they have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, and like that could go bad really easily. The Chargers have the worst O-line in the league, and Justin Herbert, who has one arm. Buffalo, who has the worst wide receiver core in the history of the world, and Houston, who was just in a dogfight against fucking Geno Smith and the Raiders. So like that's the AFC. I mean, I like to think that Buffalo is the favorite, I guess, because Josh Allen, but they have a lot of holes. In terms of the NFC, Seattle and the Rams, I think are the favorites. Philly, who is just beating up on bottom feeders since they've gotten wins. The Bears, who we both think are 1 year away. San Fran, who we just saw their defense get kind of torched by Phillip Rivers, and they're just band-aided together. And then Green Bay, whose entire team is injured. And then the winner of the Carolina and Bucks, which those teams have no shot. So I don't think I've ever seen a year where I could literally make a case for, would you say 8 or 9 teams winning the Super Bowl?
Well, you missed Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's coming on here.
I didn't want to talk about Pittsburgh. Yeah, okay. Pittsburgh's another example. I put Pittsburgh in the Bucks and Carolina class.
Yeah. Is Detroit done? They're not done, right? They have to win out, and Green Bay has to lose out, right?
Which is feasible because Love is questionable at best for this game, and Josh Jacobs is probably going to miss a game or 2. So I mean, and they already have the Parsons injury and all the other shit going on there. So.
Yeah.
Now they're going to face Baltimore week 17 without Lamar, most likely. So that's just going to be a shit. That's going to be Malik Willis versus Tyler Huntley.
Jesus Christ. What did we get? What did we do to deserve this year? This has been the worst year for quarterback play that I can remember in a long time. This is bad. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think, Buffalo's always up there, but they look suspect at best. I mean, Josh Allen just had his worst fantasy day ever yesterday. From the AFC, I'm still going to roll with New England, but man, Jacksonville looks good. Like their defense is legit, and Trevor Lawrence is playing the best ball of his career, including his time at Clemson.
Hey, Storey, is Liam Cohen now in your top 3 coaches discussion? Because it's the Ben Johnson thing, right?
At the beginning of the year, and that we finally it took. This is something back we got to look back on this next year. Ben Johnson's offense, Liam Cohen's offense. These guys that are coming in and installing a new system, we have to remember the first 6, 7, 8 weeks that things could be rough, and it could take time for this to gel. So this is what I was hoping for with Liam Cohen coming into Jacksonville. I still think that Trevor Lawrence has some warts, but in general, like the dude's playing the best ball of his career. So ride that hot hand, and if they can ride it into the playoffs, do I think they're Super Bowl bound? No, I don't. I think there's way too much to get past in the AFC. But this is a team that it feels like they're set up well for many years to come.
Yeah, and the Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen thing, it's one thing for them to have success their first year because it's original, it's fresh offensive running. They're getting the best out of these young quarterbacks, and I'm still going to call Trevor Lawrence a young quarterback because what do you got to deal with the Urban Meyer year and then Peterson? Like, dude, it's been rough there in terms of coaching. But it's what's happened to the teams that they left. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs offense with the weapons on their back, it doesn't matter. I know Baker's a little bit dinged up right now, but all year, all those layup targets, all those big, awesome schemed up throws outside the first 4 games have not been there for Baker. And the Lions, yes, they've had a lot of injuries, and their offensive line is decimated. But
their defense more so than anything. Their defense.
But they had 10 yards rushing. Okay. And look at Ben Johnson. We have the number 2 rush offense in the league. Like against the Steelers, who 2 weeks prior, remember that game against Buffalo where they ran the same play with James Cook 33 times and just won the game like that? I'm saying like Pittsburgh's defense is not good. They played well, but 10 yards rushing. Jahmyr Gibbs 2 yards rushing in that game. It was, I think, 15 yards. Pardon me. 15 yards rushing in a close game, a one-score game from the Lions. It's just not been there this year, and it's easy to blame Ben Johnson, but I think it's a culmination of a lot of things. But that's two examples of both those coaches literally taking questionable playoff teams that were almost projected to get last place in their division, to possible buys in their first year with young quarterbacks. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, it's exciting. Like you've got some smart-ish, I guess you could say, coaches out there, some good in-game play callers. The challenge is putting together a roster that gels. It feels like it takes some time, and this is, I think, what we're seeing and what we're going to continue to see. The problem is the quarterback talent that's coming out right now is not very good, and we're seeing that. Like Shuck, I'll be the first to admit, Shuck looks better than I was expecting. He actually looks like he could be competent. Probably like middle of the road eventually, not this year, but eventually. But you look at the talent that's right behind him. The other quarterbacks that were rookie quarterbacks that were drafted. Cam Ward has shown some flashes, but the team around him is just atrocious. And then the guys coming out next year, your Carson Becks, your Lenora Sellers, your
the guy from Oregon.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's coming out though.
No, he's not coming out. Dante Moore. But there's just not a whole lot of really good talent coming out. So I worry about the future of several franchises. Like if Geno Smith is honest to God the best option that the Raiders could put on the field, like what does that say about the rest of the quarterbacks that are floating around?
And Phillip Rivers was just brought back at 45.
That was the most ridiculous.
I like Riley Leonard. Now the reason it was, is because he was running that offense. He's been talking to Steichen every week. That makes sense. I like Riley Leonard. I think he'd been a better option. But seeing you talk about coaches' story, I can see the disdain in your eye. You're saying semi-smart because you refuse to admit any of them are smart. It's equivalent to do you remember Meet the Parents when like he's not a cat person? He's trying to like be nice about cats. You can just tell Ben Stiller fucking hates cats, and you fucking hate coaches. That's just it.
I do because they think every single coach thinks they're smarter than the fans, and that is no more evident than the press conferences that John Harbaugh put on. The questions he answered last night and the stuff he said today was the most ridiculous BS I've ever heard coming out of a coach's mouth. Did you hear what he said about why Derrick Henry field?
No, but here I'm gonna actually hit you with the intro because this is regarded. That's just for you, and we'll talk a little bit about John Harbaugh, who you've been clamoring for a little while now about this, and I think your predictions are possibly going to come true. Table with the John Harbaugh thing. Lamar Jackson out of the game. They were winning the game. The drive previous, it was the end of the third quarter. Derrick Henry marches down the field. They couldn't tackle him. They didn't want to tackle him. They scored a touchdown. He looks unstoppable. He's fresh. Obviously, don't use him very much this year. Patriots come down, score a touchdown. They're still up 3 points, mind you, and Derrick Henry does not see the field the rest of the game. Okay, maybe when they're down, I understand that. They were still up 3 points, Storey. He doesn't see the field. What do you got?
I mean, what can you say? So you hear what Harbaugh said. It's they were the start of the game. Keaton and Derek had worked it out. I'm like, okay, aren't you the coach? First of all, don't you work out the rotation, or Todd Monken or the running backs coach? Whatever, doesn't matter. Like, why would you rotate in Keaton Mitchell? Derrick Henry should be the guy these late season surges. He gets better as the season goes on. And then he was saying he was. The contempt he had when someone's like, well, yeah, but like he didn't touch the ball again after like the 12-minute mark in the fourth quarter. He's like, well, it was like 6 plays. Like, do you think it could have been more than 6 plays if you had possibly had Derrick Henry in there? John Harbaugh, and this is the same thing that we talked about 2 months ago when they refused when he had like 10 carries. That day he had 10 carries. This is just what would you say you do here, John Harbaugh? He's lost his edge. I've been saying this for 2 years. The guy's out of his depth. He either doesn't want to be there and they refuse to fire him, or they still think he's still right. Like, he's riding the talent of Derrick Henry and especially Lamar Jackson. And he's riding the high from that Super Bowl win that Flacco put together a decade and a half ago. the guy needs to go. Like the organization is going to continue to languish in mediocrity as long as you let that kind of coach stick around.
I got a little comparison here for his post-game interview. Here you go.
Let's not forget, dude, that keeping wildlife, an amphibious rodent for, domestic within the city, that ain't legal either.
What are you, a fucking park ranger now?
No, I'm just trying to offer.
Who gives a shit about the fucking marmot?
Just trying to justify shit that there's no justification. Stay on topic, John Harbaugh, and shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah, well,
Chris Olave. Hey, our biggest hit.
Olave, huge dude, absolutely stellar performance yesterday.
We didn't see this coming. We were higher on Olave than anyone I heard talking about him, because everyone was talking about him as a floor guy, and we both said he had. I didn't see the touchdown upside that he's had recently, but I said 100 catches, and it was about health with him. I said, and we didn't care about a 7th round pick, our wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 for health. That doesn't matter. That's not baked in for me. And he stayed healthy. He looks just awesome. And what that might be, the Pickens thing was also right there with best value, but Olave has turned it on when it mattered most. And Pickens had a good game this past week, but 2 stinkers leading up to it.
Yeah,
so
he might have busted you
he's
out,
in the running for most valuable draft picks this season, outside of like the waiver wire guys that have become relevant because you got him for nothing.
It's him and Drake May, and trying to think who would be at running back.
It was Javonte Williams for a while, but he's fizzled out.
He's fizzled quite heartily, probably Jonathan Taylor, even though he was drafted relatively highly. Probably Jonathan Taylor. It's been a rough couple of weeks, but tonight was definitely a nice bounce back. Dude, Olave, you can't count on a pass from Taysom Hill, a touchdown pass from Taysom Hill every week, but and it's another team that tends to start slow and turn it on in the second half, but he's their go-to guy. It was awesome to see him crack 100 yards, well over 100 yards. I hope that they can keep this momentum going. I don't know who they're playing next week, but
Justin in the chat says CMC was a 1st-round pick. So yes, he has killed it, and he's been, a league winner based on where you drafted him. But Chris Olave's value is much better than CMC's value because of 7th-round pick. You got a wide receiver 1 in the 7th round. Like, you can't beat that.
The Saints
Puka's there.
Puka, because Puka was a 1st-round pick. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like now they're winning leagues. We're gonna get to every. Michael says, I remember around week 4, I was offered Olave and I gave up J.K. Dobbins, and you guys told me to do it. I owe you. Well, yes. See, I wish a lot of you guys were in the, in the live streams when we were doing them earlier in the year, like before the draft, before the season started, because you all would have had Olave on your teams like we did. But what a trade! Even if J.K. Dobbins didn't get hurt, you won that trade, and the fact that he got hurt, you're probably in the championship right now. So wheels up on that one. We'll get to everyone's comment here in a second. Keep on pounding them in there, guys, and we'll get to them. If you need something answered right away, super chat. We do have the super chats fundraiser as always, because I like the drink story. That was a terrible voice, but
yeah, I don't know.
Here it is. Every Friday. That was like I Love You Man, where he calls him Jobin. Every 5 super chats, beer chug. Every $20 super chat is a beer chug. Everyone that signs up for the Patreon during the show gets a beer chug and also gets to get in the Discord and all that stuff. Here's Helen Hunt. Say hello to Helen. Hi, Helen.
Yeah, jeez, come on. I haven't had to worry about that for a week and a half.
I'm sorry. I got a new segment I want to share with you. You're gonna love this.
A fur shrug with crocheted sleeves, a hat on a hat, a watch on your pinky toe, and nothing says "Look at me, I've been places" like 2 lit road flares hanging from your sunglasses.
You ready? We're gonna break this down, man. A Cam Newton outfit. What do you think about this fucking thing?
Well, right off the bat, you got the waiters, which is pretty popular nowadays. You see coaches like what's his name, Aaron Glenn and Mike McCarthy wearing them. Not Mike McCarthy, Mike McDaniel, and that tells you everything you need to know about waiters and the type of coaches who wear those. You got a scarf. I guess that's good if you're sweating. You can take that off and wipe your brow, so that's helpful. I don't understand what's going on. Is the jacket is that just the way the jacket is, or is the jacket being held low? There's a skirt, and then
his pants are rolled up too. You see that? He's got a little bit showing there, his legs showing. Yeah. What the fuck is this?
There's a lot. There's just a lot going on. He could use more color. I mean, you got to respect the pop of color with the red, but could use more color. and that would I think that would help it quite a bit. I don't know. Dude's a weirdo. He loves his outfits. Like, more power to you.
Yeah, he is a weird. I'll say this: he has $1 million smile. He's got that going on for him. But
He does.
That's about all
he
he has
does.
going on for him.
He definitely.
He's
has
awful on First Take as well.
all-
One last thing that's going to cheer you up and make you happy. So, as you know, we just have a great time with the counselor and just how bad he is, and all the Puka hate. Which he's preseason. Don't draft him. He's a beta. He's terrible. Not even a good player. Wrong. And then when he got hurt, he's done. He's gonna miss a week. He's done. I told you not to draft him. So bad. And then his love for Ashton Genty, which I was doing the math about all of his guys. About all the guys he loved, right? And the guys he loved that actually had hit or Ibuka, Tyler Warren, and Travion Henderson. Those are the 3 guys that actually had hit, and Josh Allen, right? So I'm saying if he made any playoffs, which he probably did, and he's in, like you said, 8 or 10 leagues, he definitely got bounced in every one of them this week because all those guys laid crazy stinkers. Like, none of them scored double-digit points. So his Ashton Genty love, I found this clip. This is amazing. So he officially took Ashton Genty over Bijan Robinson.
There was one league where I drafted second. Jamar Chase came first. I was looking at the second pick. Bijan was there. I didn't go for him. Why? Because I'm fully invested in Genty. I'm all in on Genty.
Okay.
Bijan. Dude.
Why is he wearing a suit?
On record, because that was his 100K subs show, which is hilarious. He has 100K subs, but legitimately, dude, Ashton Genty, like, it's one thing to be high on a guy. That's fine. Telling people to draft him number 2 overall when he was, we had him, top 14. I took him once and it was at the 14th pick, which I obviously not great. I'm in the finals in that league, but dude, second overall, dude, or over Jahmyr Gibbs, over Bijan, as he calls him. Like, what the fuck? Craziest thing in the world.
I'll tell you who was going too low, looking back on it, was Devon Achane. That guy is absolutely crushing it. And
you know why that was, though, Storey, is he had that injury in the preseason game. That was why he dropped, because he was a fringe, he was a turn pick, 13, 14, 12. And then he had the injury, and he fell sometime. I saw him fall to 19 once. Just because he's a small guy, he was comped as an injury-prone player, although he stayed relatively healthy his first 3 years in the league.
He did pick up an injury a couple weeks ago. That was when Jalen Wright popped off for 100 yards, but he came back. I mean, there was no concerns. He didn't have any workload concerns, and they're using him quite a bit on the ground. He's not just a pass-catching running back, so that insulated him from the not having Tua there in the lineup.
Yeah, we need to chill on these rookies. I think this year we learned a big lesson, and I've been pretty anti-rookie. I pick my spots, but like to go all in on a rookie, like, I went all in. We went all in on a few guys, like Tucker Kraft all in, Chris Olave all in, George Pickens all in. Guys that I know were good players. I've seen actually perform in the NFL. All in on rookies, and I think Jeremiah Love's going to be a similar situation. I don't know what your thoughts on Jeremiah Love are, but depending on where he lands, he'll probably be a first-round fantasy pick next year.
Man, I can't pull the trigger on that. These guys are going to get steamed up in the preseason. We just got to remind ourselves, like, when you're playing against third stringers, it can look good, but these guys take time to come on. And my big thing is, like, everything that happened in the first part of the season doesn't necessarily mean it's going to continue happening. Tyler Warren and Emeka Egbuka, those are 2 guys that I was high on, and they have completely fallen off the radar. I don't think either of those guys is startable. So if you're holding on to those guys, I had talked myself into starting Tyler Warren, assuming that another week in the system, Phillip Rivers, check down guy. He looked atrocious when targeting Tyler Warren, and Warren looked kind of bad on some of his routes tonight. So
I do like Tyler Warren, though, going forward, if it's going to be Riley Leonard, though, because the rookie quarterback, tight end's the best friend. And Emeka Egbuka is just bad, bro. And we talked about, me and Ray talked about this yesterday. The groin injury he suffered, I believe that was week 4, week 5 in that Monday night game when he left for a series and got his groin wrapped. It was his groin or his quad. Got it wrapped and came back in the game. He didn't end up missing any time. Hopefully for Emeka Egbuka's long-term outlook, that was actually an injury he's been dealing with all year, because we always talk about his vertical leap being like Phillip Rivers. It's non-existent. He's dropping passes. Doesn't look explosive at all. And if it's injury, because he did look a little better early on, if it's injury related, I'm willing to give him a pass. But if this is just who he is as a player, it's got a lot of Marvin Harrison vibes to me. Now he's more interested than Marvin Harrison, because Marvin Harrison, you see that drop Marvin Harrison had?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I mean, how can you because Marvin Harrison really didn't pop in his rookie campaign, whereas we had 7 weeks of Emeka Egbuka actually performing quite well. I mean, a lot of this is Baker's fault. A lot of it is probably injury related. I'm willing to give him a pat. The other problem is played like a 66% snap share on Sunday. That's not going to get it done when you've got McMillan and Evans and Godwin. It was great when he was the only guy there. The only guy in town was him and Tez Johnson and that kind of thing. I mean, is this a more is less situation? They've got all these talented wide receivers. Even Tez Johnson's getting targets. Not one guy. Baker, if they had two strong receivers, would the offense look better instead of this? I'm going to run through progressions. I'm wondering if he's running out of time. He's going through 3, 4, 5 progressions, and now he's making bad throws because he's rushed. I don't know. It just feels like you got all these guys, and none of them are really popping off. Where if they just had two guys and Baker could just focus on getting those two guys the balls, it would feel like a better situation to me.
Yeah, Emeka at Big Boo. That pick was probably Warren's fault, although
it was definitely his fault.
But he shouldn't have thrown the ball. You gotta. It's on both of them, but it was probably more on Warren because he just totally let the linebacker know what the play was and what he was going to do. But don't throw the ball, Phillip Rivers. And
yes, don't throw that ball.
Always good to see you, Storey. He's very attracted to you.
What's that?
Wally's really happy to see you.
Oh, Wally, good to see you too. I'm trying to start Bretton Strange over Tyler Warren next week. I'm trying to start. I might start AJ Barner over him. I might start. Don't
do that. Don't do that.
Barner had a good game.
Nope. Riley Leonard, baby. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be better. Trust me. Okay. Wally dropped 184 points and going to the championship once again to defend my title. Damn straight, Wally. You got a lot of things going for you. You get to look at Storey tonight. You dropped 184 points. Let's go. Jay Moore championship round. Jay Moore has thoughts on Tyler Warren. I won't be starting him next week. So me and Storey are splitting this one. I still think he's a top 12 guy. I think Phillip Rivers hampered him majorly. And I think Riley Leonard will check it down. I know he does scramble more, so that's a negative, but Tyler Warren is still a good player. I believe in him. So
they're also not utilizing him very creatively like they did at the beginning of the year, which I think they dumbed down the offense for Phillip Rivers. And I think they limited what Daniel Jones was doing when they found out he had that broken bone. Because you see a lot of stuff that would have him rolling out, a lot of stuff that would put him in motion or in movement in order to make throws on the run. You didn't see that much in the second half of the season.
Justin's got a banger for us here onto the championship. Congratulations, my dude. Hopefully you're still in here. Sorry, we're a little delayed in the comments, so just be patient. Allen/Burrow. Are we going Joe Burrow over Josh Allen? Allen has Philly.
Oof. No, this is a prime bounce back spot for Josh Allen.
What if it's 6 for a passing touchdown?
Arizona's defense is pretty bad. Yeah, in that case, I think I would go with Burrow.
I'm going Joe Burrow either way, bro. He's on fire. T. Higgins is back. 4 for a passing touchdown. Give me Allen. 6 for a passing touchdown is Burrow. Harvey, CMC, Genty, Walker. So he needs 2 running backs, 2 flexes, and it's he didn't say if it's PPR or not, but let's call it PPR. So yeah, we're starting CMC.
In the questions, if you've got CMC, you don't need to ask us if you should start him or not. You know what I mean?
Genty, we're starting Genty, and then Harvey will be flexed. You're starting JSN. Rice will be out. You're starting Fannin at tight end. And then I'm going Seattle's defense in a game against Carolina. So I guess the other question is the wide receivers. He's got to start another wide receiver. We have JSN in there. So is it Tet or is it Evans? Tet is against the Seahawks. Evans has a... What does Evans have? They have the Dolphins. Ooh, I'm going Evans, personally.
I'm still going Ted McMillan. I think that he's in a better spot right now than Bryce Young's playing quite well.
Ooh, okay. And then we're fine starting the Genty, CMC, Harvey, and then we need another flex. So we can start Ted Evans and JSN. There you go.
I mean, the Seahawks have the Panthers. I'd probably throw Walker in there. I mean,
You would start Walker over Mike Evans in PPR?
You take that touchdown
would.
away, and Evans' stat line was pretty concerning.
Ooh. Hold on. He has Emmanuel Wilson. So Emmanuel Wilson is going to be started as a flex for sure if there's no Josh Jacobs.
Well, is there no Josh Jacobs? There
ain't no way Josh Jacobs is playing this week. Ain't no way.
It wasn't an injury, but I think he's dealing with something.
Well, he was benched because of the injury because he couldn't fucking move.
That's not what LaFleur said.
Well, as you know, you're going to trust a coach, Storey, first time in your life?
No,
man. Look at you watch that game, dude. Josh Jacobs was like awful in that game. He couldn't jump cut. He couldn't cut. He couldn't hit the outside. He couldn't do anything. And he fumbled as well, which is bad. But like, man, he's just it's it for Josh Jacobs for the fantasy year. You can't start him. I'll tell you that much because I made the mistake of starting him in 3 weeks.
He's not there. Then Emmanuel Wilson is a
top 15
mid-range running back too. Yeah.
Thoughts on splitting prior to the ship?
It depends on factors. What the layout is. Like, I've done it where you split. You take a third. So you both take a third, and then you have a third left to play. So you don't have to split it. There's something to be. So you got something on the line. I've done it where you split right down the middle. I'm not a huge fan of that, but
no.
Yeah, but I like a third. So if it's I don't know, say it's $1,000 league and 900 goes to the top two, 300, whatever it is. I think that, oh my God, I was reading about this, like how it's so tough to win a championship because of luck and injuries and, underperformances. Trey McBride, like the guy's been absolutely on fire. And then you run into a situation where, you get what you get. Like if there's a way to like put a little aside for the championship, but you pay more for, like you have a 4-team championship, 2-week championship, but the most of the money goes towards the regular season. You know what I mean? Because regular season, there's far more that goes into maintaining a winning record than there is, call it a winning record or total points or whatever it is. I think that might be the way to go. Like how frustrating is it to have the alpha team that you put together and just get bounced because you had Amon-Ra St. Brown and Trey McBride and Josh Allen, et cetera, et cetera.
Storey, you're barking up my tree here because in my 6 home leagues, I had high points in 5 of them in a bye, right? I went 0-5. I went 0-5 in those leagues. Now I got the high points bonus. So I'm going for 3rd place in all 5 of my home leagues that I had high points in and dominant squads, bro. And my teams did bad. And then I went up against, in my league, I lost 180 to 250. And 250 was the second highest total all year. Like, dude, just Puka Nacua everywhere. And then my $500 league, which I was telling you about all year in Fantrax, all the other ones are 250s. I was 13-1. I had 190 more points scored than the second place team. I had a bye locked up by week 10, bro. And I lost 190 to 100. I scored 100 points. I was averaging 155. I scored 100 because I had Emeka Egbuka and Breece Hall and Seattle's defense and Jason Myers. And I'm just going to roll with all my guys. And I didn't have a lot of other options, right? It wouldn't have mattered because the team had Puka and Kenneth Walker and fucking Kenneth Gainwell. I'm just like looking at it, it's like, what the fuck? Like, okay, Kenneth Gainwell apparently is an RB1 now. Guy's awesome, by the way.
I mean, he's gonna get a bag. Is he one more year there? I don't know. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and you got the other side of it where you win by 100. You're not going to want to hear this, but our team would have advanced in Fantrax if we had made the playoff both weeks.
Oh, guaranteed. We had the second most points. That's Pierre's team probably would have whipped us next week, but yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah, I know that was one of the 3 teams I missed the playoffs on out of my 25. And
so how many are you in the playoffs, or how many are you on to the championship?
My team's in particular, I was in 25 leagues. I was in 22 playoffs. I am in 9 finals.
Okay.
So, which actually could have been a lot worse because I was against Puka in 10 leagues. Well, actually, my wife was against Erica was against Puka in 3. So I had seven Puka matchups of my 20 this week. I got to shout out Erica though because she is in 6. So we were in 15 total out of our 36 leagues. So almost half championships.
So you should turn a profit.
Oh, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The Puka thing probably cost me upwards of $8,000 because if the overtime, it wasn't the game, that overtime that should have never existed. Like how the hell did that game go to overtime? He got 14 points in overtime essentially. So and I lost a lot of those matchups by less than 14. So, first place is $1,900 in a lot of these leagues. So
it's looking like Devontae Adams is not going to be playing this week. So if you've got Puka,
I'm only facing Puka in 5 leagues this week in the champ, 4 or 5. So,
well, I guess since you got butt railed by him last week, he can't butt rail you again.
Well, in the other leagues he can, and because he's in almost every championship. But I'll shout out to Erica because her first year, Erica won her first league. I mean, again, I draft all these teams for her, but still, they're her teams, right? Won her first one last year. She was in 4 leagues. She had a first, a second, a third, and a fourth. And then this year she was in 11 leagues and she's in 6 championship games right now. And she drafted one team, her last team Story. After, we did all our drafts. I streamed all of them. She had a league and I had a draft at the same time. I'm like, you just do it. You've drafted with me. You've heard all the podcasts. Where we stand, where guys go, who we like. And she is in the championship game on her team she drafted. Now I helped her manage it all year, but I didn't help her at all. She drafted JSN. She took Kyle Pitts as her only tight end, which I was kind of questioning when she did it as a late tight end. Yeah, dude, just pretty impressive. So she has a chance to be 50% out of her 16 leagues she's ever done win rate, which is epic. Because I have a buddy Dave who is a very, very bright fantasy mind. He's been playing for 22 years, just one league, our old league. He has yet to ever win. And Erica's first league she drafts, $100 league, which is essentially what he's playing. It's a $150 home league. She's gonna win. So that's the way fantasy goes, right? It's up and down, but not for her apparently. So, I trained her well, bro.
That's like when you go to Vegas with somebody and the first time they go, they hit on roulette table and then they get a run on craps and then they can't lose on blackjack and then you feel like you can never lose and then you go back and the casino kicks you square in the dick.
Dude, my a buddy of mine's wife, she's Polish and had no idea how to gamble. And I love Keno. So we were playing Keno. First, they got there the night before. My buddy lost $6,000 playing blackjack. So he has money, but that's pretty fucking demoralizing. You lose $6,000 the first night. We're in Keno and she's just playing. And you know how usually you pick 2 numbers or 3 numbers. She did a thing where she picked 10 numbers not to hit, and they only draw 20 numbers. Dude, on a $5 ticket, she won $8,000. One of her first tickets she fills out. I'm sitting there playing all these fucking tickets, losing. She's like, I think I won. I'm like, what'd you do? She's like, I picked 10 numbers not to hit. Dude, it was fucking 500 to 1 odds, 1,000 to 1 odds or some shit. Yeah.
I didn't know you could pick numbers not hit.
There's a lot of different games you can play. That's less fun to pick numbers that don't hit, but picking 10 in general is unreal, dude.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It's like that scene in Vegas Vacation, right?
Oh, I love Keno. We're going off the rails. There's not many people in here, so we don't have a lot of comments. I do have one quick interesting story about splitting the pot. So 4 years back, I was the number 1 seed, but my team was so decimated. I had to start my team was all waiver wire guys, Derek Gumbawale. That was the year. Who's the little slot receiver, the white dude that was in the Jets? That's in Miami now. I don't know why I can't think of his name. He's a kick returner, punt returner.
It'll come to me.
Fuck, I'll think of his name. Anyways, I was in the finals, so we're talking about splitting the pots. I offered him just a split, and I was going to give him 60% of the money, and regardless.
Oh, okay.
I was going to offer. I think I was going to offer him 60%. So I would still get 40%, where second place got 30%. I was just take it, whatever. I was he was favored to win by 39 or 41 or something, dude, quite a bit. And he's like, no, bro, I'm going to whip your ass. I beat him by 40 with the biggest joke of a team ever. And he wouldn't take, it wasn't even a split. It was, I was giving him just he was essentially sacrificing $200 in the first place, but he had no worry at all. I'm giving you more money. And he's like, no, bro, I'm going to win. Braxton Berrios is who I was thinking of. So he scored 2 touchdowns and Gumbawale scored 2 touchdowns. It was just the wackiest lineup. It was such a bad lineup. He had all the stalwarts, and that's how fantasy goes. Thoughts on George Kittle next week?
Hang on, you got a super chat.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Justin, thanks for the help this year. Not familiar with the Discord, but maybe interested in learning for bets. Yeah, buddy. So I'll go through it real quick for you. So the Discord is essentially just Discord is just like a fantasy group chat. So it's if you're in a league and you have a group chat through text messaging, Discord is just like a chat community. It's free to join. To get in the Discord, you have to join the Patreon, but it's super easy. If you just want to get in the Discord, it's $2. If you want access to the bets, it's $5. And then there's a lot of other perks too, a lot of different tiers. Definitely well worth it. And we'll go through here we go. Real quick, shout out to all the Patreon members. You guys are awesome. Help me out here. A lot of perks, access to Discord community, community fantasy leagues. Gonna be starting this with the NFL playoff fantasy, also 5 or 6 next year, and continue to grow. Guest appearances on the pod. We had Mark on Friday. Shout out Mark. Free merchandise if you want this hat. Vote on show ideas. Next year, we're gonna be doing 1 or 2 shows a week, like an hour each of just the private show, just for the Patreon members. So that's something you're gonna have where you're just gonna get we answer every question now. I don't know how long it's gonna continue when the show continues to grow. Also, you get access to these bets, boys. We are we're killing 82-45. We have not had a losing week since week 8. Story. That's a long time.
I mean, that's a hell of a run. Like that doesn't. Do you have anything tonight?
No. Funny is I actually placed a bonus bet I had on Brock Purdy's rushing yards over 11.5, and he had like 11. And I wanted to do Alec Pierce, I wanted to do George Kittle, and I wanted to do Josh Downs, and I didn't have a feel on the game, and I had the winning week locked up. I'm like, dude, I just wanted to watch football because I only had a couple matchups that mattered. And it was like, every Monday night I have so much shit riding. I was like, I just want to have a chill night and drink some beer and just watch the game with, minimal things where I have to pay attention to. And it was actually refreshing, man, because it's been, as you know, when you're in 35 leagues and you have $500 riding on the bets and everything, it's just like there's so much stuff to pay attention to. It was just kind of just freeing, right?
Yeah.
For once.
Speaking of Kittle, what's the scuttlebutt on his injury?
So we'll talk about that. Also, real quick, Justin, go to the website if you want, professionalfanatics.com, or link in the description down below in this video if you want details on the Patreon. It's also a way to support us, but you're getting a lot of stuff. Also, the Discord is just I'm trying to think. What do we Story? We call it it's the
place to be.
It's the place to be.
What do you call it, Kramer? It was. Come on, Rudy. Come on. We call it the place to be. The place to be. Yes.
It is the place to be.
Yeah, it's a good place.
I'm sure a lot of people celebrating their fantasy victories tonight.
Yeah, damn straight. We need one more week, baby. And let's see. What do you think about Kittle? So I think it was precautionary because they were up 2 touchdowns. That's the upside. He was smiling on the sideline. He was a little upset when he got hurt, but I would say he's going to gut it out because, as I said in the broadcast, it's crazy to think, Story, if they win out. Now, that involves beating the Bears, who are 11-4, and then beating the Seahawks. They get the number 1 seed. They have the destiny is in their hands.
That's crazy. I can't believe it.
I know.
I guess they're 11-4, right? Like, George.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's here's the problem.
Ankle injury.
Adrenaline wears off. Swelling kicks up. If this is a low ankle sprain, he probably plays through it. If it's a mid-high ankle sprain, that's a week. If it's a high ankle sprain, that's the rest of the regular season, I think. Yeah, I don't know. You got to keep an eye on that. Like, I'll tell you what, though. If he misses, I'm starting Jake Tunges over Tyler Warren this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Jake Tunges is awesome. You see that touchdown? That should have been a touchdown, by the way.
Yes, that should have been a touchdown. I can't believe they didn't challenge it.
I remember, Story. I remember when I started him in 10 fucking leagues that week. The week we started him in our league, and I had my bet on Tunges, and he fucking had like 7 catches for 40 yards and a tutter. I remember. I love Jake Tunges.
Yeah. So just keep an eye on it. It would suck to lose him, but you never know with these ankle injuries. So he did. Hang on, I'm going to put you on mute. I'm going to listen to what he said after the game.
Yeah, I'll get this one. Jay says Caleb over Lamar this week. I'll just give you this one.
Whatever.
I'm going to answer it with a clip for you. You're actually, you put me on mute. You got to mute yourself.
Try to tape it up.
Wrong clip. Here
Absolutely.
you go.
Always looking for Jack Doyle.
If I can't, run very fast.
So to answer your question, it is absolutely Caleb over Lamar, because we just saw Phillip Rivers have a very fantasy relevant day, looking good against that Niners defense. So I had to mute you because you muted me. You need to mute yourself, Story, when you're listening to a video. Future reference. Caleb over Lamar's probably not even going to play. And what a rough year for Lamar, man. You know what, Story? They were going to win that game. Lamar actually looked healthy for the first time in this game before he gets kneed in the fucking back. Our bet, I'm telling you, I think our bet was good, dude. They could have won out, made the goddamn. If they won out, they make the playoffs. And having healthy Lamar, Derek, their defense is what they say, top 3 since week 4. The AFC is wide open, man, and it just sucks. Now they're fucked because they need Pittsburgh to lose to Cleveland now, and that could happen. But Caleb over Lamar, even if Lamar plays, it's Caleb, right? Caleb's probably a top 7 option this week with how he's playing and just the Niners defense.
I don't know that I would go that far, but I am playing Caleb over Lamar, even if Lamar plays. Like that back injury could flare. I mean, it's a contusion, so you would think that's something that wouldn't keep him out, but man, they've got nothing to play for. I mean, I guess they do. You're right. Technically, they could make it, but I don't know. The way that team is being coached right now, do you trust Harbaugh? Because I don't.
You don't trust any coach. Again, I go back to the Santa Claus. It's almost Christmas time where you have all those coaches came in and ran a train on a loved one of yours. I'm not going to speak of, but that all happened. Yeah, for sure. Michael, I have a Chargers defense next week versus Texans. The over-under was like 39.5. Thoughts? I like the over. I'll say that if I wanted to bet on that one. Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, the Raiders defense was pretty frisky against them this week. There might be better options, but they're a fine defense, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they're not a very good defense. That's kind of the problem. Like, so I don't know. I guess the Texans had a bit of a down game, but they could certainly turn it around. That over-under is really low, it feels like to me. That's like really low.
Oh, way too low. Way too low. I mean, there was 40-something points scored in that Raiders game, and that's the Raiders who had an over-under of 12 team total points. Michael says a lot of people are going to draft Ibuka high next year. I don't think so. I think, where do you think he goes? Same spot he went this year? Depending on if Mike Evans doesn't retire. Seventh round. Yeah.
I bet he probably goes around that range next year. I mean, a lot of it depends on the health of Godwin, who's looking okay. I think he's still banged up a little bit, but like, I don't know if Evans runs it back and you got Godwin and you still got McMillan under contract there. I don't know that I really want a ton of that passing game. Like, they caught lightning in a bottle last year. Clearly that was an aberration. And I don't think Baker's throwing for 44 touchdowns again this year. Again, the rest of his career.
Story, I remember we had an argument in our underdog values thing, and you had Baker Mayfield and I had Matt Stafford, and we had an argument about, you're like, Matt Stafford, no upside, which it appeared because the last couple of years he was throwing for 20 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Kyron Williams is running for 16. And it's like Matt Stafford has not, and Matt Stafford was going quarterback 24. Baker was going quarterback 8. It's just like, think of that. That was an actual argument because everyone was so high on Baker, and when Matt Stafford was such an afterthought. And part of that was the back injury, but it wasn't really even the back injury. It was just the past performances and this team running the ball a million times in the goal line. And this year they're just throwing the ball a million times in the goal line.
I mean, it's unusual, but they've been throwing it from the goal line. I mean, if you are starting Matthew Stafford, you're certainly very happy about that. It feels like they don't trust Kyron Williams as much this year. That Sean McVay, the fact that Blake Corum has taken so much work, that's kind of what it feels like. But I mean, first half of the season, it was the opposite. Like, Matthew Stafford was probably sitting down on waiver wires for the first half of the season. They were, it wasn't as bountiful as it has been the last 8 weeks.
By the way, I think I won our Juwan Johnson, Theo Johnson bet.
Yeah,
because Jackson Dart. We're going to talk about Jackson Dart in a little bit because there's a question down below. But Wally says, if my guy J.J. McCarthy is not playing on Thursday, should I pick up the Lions defense against Brosmer or keep Seattle's D against Carolina? Ooh, Brosmer's bad, but he looked a little better in relief. Story. What are you thinking, man? Because it's hard to go away from Seattle's defense.
I think I would stick with Seattle's defense. I don't know that I could stare at a -2. I don't think that'll happen, but their defense is banged up. Like they're not very good, and they're banged up. Like that's the problem with Detroit this year. So I don't know. I was kind of debating that myself because I've got Detroit available in a league, but I also have Seattle, who they gave up a ton of points on their own, but that was the Rams. I don't know. I think I would stick with Seattle. That is tough. That is really tough.
Joe Burrow over Drake May this week in the championship. Those are good options I have, my boy. What's going on, Jay Moore? Joe Burrow has a nice matchup against the Cardinals. Drake May has an even better matchup on paper, at least against that defense and the Jets. So although the Jets are really, really vulnerable on the ground, so like where do you go here? Is this scoring as well? Although Drake May isn't running as much as we thought. Is this Joe Burrow or is this Drake May?
It's Joe Burrow. Even if TreVeyon Henderson misses, Stevenson is a more than serviceable fill-in, and they should just gash New York on the ground. I don't think I want to take the chance of Drake May throwing for one touchdown. I think Joe Burrow's got a multi-touchdown game against Arizona. They feel like they're on a bit of a mission.
I should have known this. Gainwell's in a one-year contract because I saw the report that, Aaron Rodgers' favorite player is Kenneth Gainwell, and he's like, I'm going to get you paid. And Kenneth Gainwell is going to get paid. I always liked him coming out of college, and that was a big loss for the Eagles. We were both kind of Will Shipley guys, but Kenneth Gainwell, like, he just got overlooked because he was pretty important, man. Like, had some really nice plays for them on third down the last 2 years.
Yeah,
he's good, dude.
Speaking of Will Shipley, is there some reason that the Eagles decided that Saquon Barkley doesn't play on third downs anymore, and that Will Shipley should get all the passing work?
Dude, Saquon Barkley, I believe, has like one reception in the last 3 weeks. It's unbelievable. Like
it's two.
No, Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the ball to running backs, but
I mean, he has 2 receptions over the last 4 weeks. You're telling me that's it? That's all they got for him? I don't understand exactly what they're doing. Like, why is Saquon Barkley like the fact that Saquon Barkley comes off the field at all in general is frustrating. I don't know. I cannot stand that organization. I can't.
Well, especially when, it's not like they're walking to the now they are, but like we're talking about 4 weeks back, right? They weren't walking to anything then. So maybe utilize your best player and get him in space, because clearly, Storey, they can't get him in space in the running game because they refuse to do that. Maybe throw a little swing pass to the guy. Just an idea. That little novel. How's that novel doing your writing?
Started on that?
Trone came into the night down 6 with CMC and Pinheiro going. My opponent had Kittle. Yeah, Kittle was on. Dude, Kittle had a monster game. He is so fucking good. Dude, Kittle's ageless. You know what I'm saying? Like these other guys, like look at TJ Hawkinson right now. Hawkinson way younger. Look at Mark Andrews right now. They're done. Like they're cooked. Has George Kittle ever looked better to you? Like his film is the same as it was 4 years ago, Storey.
I mean, you got to pencil. George Kittle is 32. Mark Andrews.
Andrews is 31.
30.
And Hawkinson's like 29, dude.
You got to pencil in Kittle to miss several games every single year. Like the dude, he plays hard and he's going to miss games. Like that's the problem with Kittle. You're not going to get a full season out of him.
I'm thinking about playing Bo Nix versus Chiefs over Dart versus Raiders. I was considering picking up Tyler Shuck and stack with Olave and Juwan Johnson, or would that be going all in the Saints? Well, Jackson Dart, we talked about this last night. Storey, I had a troll on here who wasn't like a total troll. He was like trying to like pass off as like a real viewer. And I was trying to I told everyone, I was like, drop Jackson Dart. I don't care about the Raiders matchup. They literally did. He had 2 passing yards in the first half. He had like 4 passing attempts in the first half. They are just trying to get by this year without getting him hurt. I don't know why they just don't bench him, because they want to give him the reps, but like they're not giving him any opportunity to throw the ball. They're telling him not to run. So like Jackson Dart is definitely not startable, even in Superflex, right?
Absolutely not. And there's another idiot coach like Kafka. What are you trying to like? Are you trying to win? Are you trying to lose? Like you this is your young quarterback. This is the future. I get you're trying not to get him hurt, but do you think that you're going to develop him by handing the ball off 30 times and letting him drop back 13? That's not going to do anything. You might as well just bench him then at that point and put in Russell Wilson, because if you're trying not to get him hurt, that's literally the only way to guarantee it. It's so stupid. Like either let him play and get experience. Like look what the Saints are doing with Tyler Shuck. Like that's a team that's I'm like the winning mentality is something that is really good to see from certain organizations. And you got losers like Matt Kafka throwing out like, oh, we're just going to get by. Why even play the game? Why not just forfeit? I don't get it. It's so stupid.
They're, dare I say, sleepwalking through the end of the season.
Hilarious.
I got a new rule. New rule they should have. You know how like Jameis Winston, I said earlier, should be like the all-time quarterback back in the day in like elementary school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if a team has an injury, he should just be like the starter because he could just go and sling the ball. Russell Wilson should be the all-time, like if you're tanking and you want to lose out, you just hire Russell Wilson as your quarterback. And like that's what they should just play Russ, because if they want the number one pick, if they want that, that equity of that pick to trade out of it, just play Russ, because Jameis might get you a win. Jackson Dart, if you allow him to actually play football, might get you a win. Russell Wilson, his teammates hate him. He's terrible. He'll get you a loss. And they should just play Russell Wilson, right? And really give it F you to the fans.
The Giants are playing the Raiders this week.
Yeah, it's a great matchup, but I mean, CJ Stroud also just had like 11
that game is going to be
points.
atrocious. Like, I don't want,
dude. I know.
It's going to
You
be
know,
so
hey,
bad.
you know that's there's two late window games because we have 3 games on Christmas. We have 2 or 3 games on Saturday, so there's only 2 games at 3:00 on Sunday, and it's Eagles Bills, which is a nice game. The second game, Giants Vegas, bro. That's the tank bowl. It's the tank bowl. It's the they both have 2 wins. So the loser of this game is going to get the number 1 pick.
The games on Christmas this year, like because of the situations, are going to be
bad.
so unwatchable.
So bad.
I can't.
Chiefs Broncos. What's the other one?
The Commanders and Cowboys, and then
Lions Vikings.
Yeah, because it's all backup quarterbacks.
Ew.
Yeah.
So
dude.
we're gonna get possibly Josh Johnson. We're gonna get Max Brosmer, and we're gonna get whoever the fuck the Chiefs. Who's that guy on the Chiefs? Do you even know his name? Did you even know this guy?
I didn't. I mean, I heard the name, but I could not.
His name. Chris
Olukun.
Oludokun. Yeah, he's not good. He went to He went to South Dakota State, 7th round pick. Yeah, 7th round pick.
South Florida is where I knew him from, but yeah.
Jesus,
not good.
bro.
Not good. Not good.
The only game that has relevance is, I guess, but that should be a blowout. Broncos need to try to stay alive for the number 1 seed. Lions need to cling to their hopes on making the playoffs. Commanders and Cowboys are both eliminated. So I'm going to watch just because all the fantasy and gambling stuff, but that's bad football. That is really bad. And it looked like good games, but
these greedy pigs at the NFL, like, come on. You need to hone in on Christmas Day too, you greedy pigs.
We're going Bo Nix, though, is the answer. Bo Nix against the Chiefs. We're going there after a loss?
Yes.
Or shock. Or shock.
Yeah,
we're going
he probably killed Pat Bryant, but he's still playing well.
Mariota against Dallas or Stafford against Houston?
Stafford for anybody, like other than
Stafford doesn't have Houston. Stafford has Atlanta.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, my head. So
yeah,
you're trying to trick me. First of all, Mariota's not playing this week. I can almost guarantee you it's not Mariota. He's got a short week. He's got a hand injury. He got his hand stepped on.
So how do you feel about
Josh Johnson?
How do you feel about Terry McLaurin? Because it's a historically bad defense and secondary.
Oh, I'm not starting Terry McLaurin.
Oh my God. Okay, you're not, even though it's Dallas' defense.
Hold on a second. I gotta look because I actually think I know I have him in this league.
I've got him in a league that I got to make a decision on.
Fuck, I gotta look at that right now because I would do with Josh Johnson. I don't want to start anything on that offense with Josh Johnson. I mean, I know the matchup, like I guess what you're saying, I get what you're saying is, does the matchup supersede Josh Johnson playing quarterback? And I think it doesn't.
But I don't think so, because look how Josh Johnson looked. And remember the historically bad tight end matchup, or bad matchup, good matchup for tight ends that the Ravens had against the Bengals, and then both Mark Andrews and so I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, McLaurin was on his way to a pretty healthy game, and then they stopped targeting him, and then Mariota got hurt. And yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. I got to think about that one.
GT, I'll check it out after the show, man. No worries. Wally, I picked up Fan in week 13 off waivers. How is he available that way? He's been balling. I also have Kittle. Do I start 2 tight ends next week? Start Fanning over JMO, T. Higgins. I'm not going to do that.
No, not even over either one of those guys. T. Higgins.
JMO does have a tough matchup against the Vikings, but I'm not starting him over JMO. And T. Higgins is balling, man. He's back.
Yeah, I think the Lions are going to want to put a show on. And yeah, T. Higgins is absolutely crushing it right now. Like he's a solid RB2, and I'm not starting a tight end. Even though Fannin has been balling, the fact that Shedeur Sanders is only completing like 56% of his passes is enough for me to be like, okay, he could have like a 4 for 12 day. You know what I mean?
He had fullback. He was playing fullback. He had a rushing touchdown, which is awesome.
And he used to do that with Tyler Warren. You remember? Remember those days?
I remember that. Yeah. Harold Fannin. I just want to shout out Harold Fannin because, as you know, my most drafted player this year was Tucker Kraft in fucking 19 leagues, whatever the fuck it was. It was 1 million. And Harold Fannin has really softened the blow for me because he has been that dude. His target share, his talent, dude. How high do you think Harold Fannin is going to go next year, dude? If Shedeur Sanders is a starting quarterback and they're kind of still going rebuild mode and David Njoku's not on the team and they don't normally draft, let's say they draft like a 3rd round rookie wide receiver.
Is Njoku done after this year?
Yeah, no, he's not going to be. He's a free agent. He's not going to be on the team. He's old. They have Harold Fannin. They have Harry Fanny, bro.
Oh yeah, he's a free agent after this. I would say he probably
tight end 5.
Still a tight end, and he's putting together some nice runs here at the end of the season. McBride, Kittle, Bowers. I think if Tucker Kraft is healthy, I think he goes in that top 6. Don't you?
No, because the injury. Just so you know, Harold Fannin right now in PPR tight end 5 on the year. That's crazy because he had a slow start. He had David Njoku splitting work with, like, historically bad offense, top 5 tight end Story. And that kind of just shows how bad the tight end landscape is.
Yeah.
For him to be top 5. But he also has played every game. So I know it's not points per game, it's total points. But yeah, you know what I can't wait to do next year, Story, is draft Brock Bowers in the 3rd round. Because that's probably where he's going to go.
McBride. So in half PPR, it's McBride, Pitts, Goddard, Kelsey, Bowers, Fannin, Ferguson,
dude.
And then
you're talking about points per game, right?
Half PPR, no, just total fantasy points.
How about Kyle Pitts being tight end 2? What the fuck, man?
Yeah,
good for you, Kyle Pitts.
Good for him. I'm a little concerned with his just this coming week. Like, it feels like London was kind of getting a little more acclimated. If London is back to his full-time role, what does that mean for Kyle Pitts this week? Well, I guess we'll find out.
Oh, I'm lucky. I advanced 4 teams with that Drake London performance. But you know what? I'm very optimistic about Drake London based on he ran a route on 80% of the dropbacks. He looked a little diminished, but he's not really an athletic freak anyway. So it was the usage, and now the matchup is golden against the Rams. I know that they played okay, I guess, the first half, but it's the game script will be good. I'm not worried about Drake London at all. He's a wide receiver too.
No way, man. I mean, he is a locked and loaded, volume-based wide receiver too. It's going to be a pass-heavy game script. I feel strongly that London is going to get back to. I mean, I think he played like 90% of the 11 personnel snaps or something like that, and like 75% of the 2 wide receiver snaps. So he's out there 75% of the time and 2 wide receiver snaps. That's the kind of usage we want to see coming off the injury. So assuming he didn't have
Raheem Morris coaching for his job, bringing back these the players that matter most in their team through injury, which is just hilarious. Thank you, though. I appreciate it because we need Drake London in our life. But
yeah,
God, this Atlanta team has so much talent, man, and such a shame because look at this division. Like, they should be the winners of this division. You look at the talent, like they squandered 4 games I can think of off the top of my head, and Michael Penix played bad. the coaching was bad. The kicking was bad. Like, dude, they fucked up so much. Like, they should be the winner of this division. Not saying they would have done anything, but I do trust that that defense when they show up. That defense is a thing, man. I guess it should be a thing when you take two first-round edge rushers and straight up.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the problem though. Like they're pretty hot and cold on defense. When they show up, they're locked down. We saw that for stretches this year, but other times they look like they've never seen a football field before.
Taylor says that play when Tunges scored and the Niners didn't challenge and CMC scored cost me a spot in the ship. Dude, that was definitely a touchdown from Tunges, right?
I think so. Why wouldn't you challenge it?
I don't know, because I guess the question was, did he have full control of the ball? But like it appeared that they didn't think his feet were in, but like the angle they showed from like the sideline showed his feet were in, and Tunges is good. I love Tunges. What a guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Kittle's out, I'm playing Tunges in a bunch of places next week because, like,
that's very cute. I'm not doing it because I have Harry Fanny. I call him Harry Fanny. Harold Fannin. Can we call him Harry Fanny?
I got it. I figured that out. I could put it together.
You got that joke? How about this? I'll call him Harry. I call him a hairy asshole when he does bad. Jay Moore Jennings, Juwan Jennings is the man. So reliable. TD streak continues. Did you see fucking him fake out the fan?
No.
Juwan Jennings is such a fucking asshole, dude. So, like, I'm just saying, it's one thing for someone else to do it. Like, you know, he got punched in the balls earlier in the next game. The Browns player, I think it was Grant Delpit, who always is chirping. But just saying that the things he says and, like, he dyes his hair, like, he is just a bad, not saying he's a bad dude. He just seems like a fucking instigator and, like, a prick. And, like, he faked giving the ball to a fan and just said, like, pretty much, fuck you. And it just appears like Juwan Jennings, like, what's wrong with these 49ers receivers? Why are they all fucking weirdos? Don't even get me started on Brandon Ayuk. Like, that dude's lost his goddamn mind. But, like, what are they doing?
I don't know. Well, what did he do to the fan? I didn't see whatever he did.
He, like, after he scored the touchdown, it was obviously in Indianapolis. He, like, offered it to, like, a chick. I think it was a chick fan. Like, here's the ball. And sometimes they throw it in the crowd. And, like, went up to her and then just said, fucking psych. Like, it's just kind of low. Like, to a girl, like, what's next? You can do that to a kid? You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like, have some class.
It's a dick move. Also, did you see that the NFL suspended DK for 2 games?
Mm-hmm. DK's a psycho, bro.
I can't believe it was only 2 games, to be frank.
If he hit him, it would have been more. He didn't hit him. He missed, you know, thankfully.
It doesn't matter. Like, you took a swing at a dude. Like, you can't.
Now, I was on record defending him because for all I know, that dude called him a slur, which, you know, I would hope he did based on DK's reaction, but there was a cell phone video that was released by someone that was like 2 spots away there, and all he was doing was calling him by his full name and just getting under his skin. And DK, like, man, I love DK Metcalf, but what are you doing, bro? Like, who cares? It's a fucking loser-ass fan with a wig. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's just questionable. I mean although listen, I'm not. I defend athletes more in terms of if slurs are thrown or you're throwing bottles at players, like, go fuck yourself, fans. Like, you have the right to get your ass beat, because if you weren't in the stands and you saw this dude at a bar or, you know, you would never say these things because, you know, it's the same thing as trolls on the internet. Like, everyone's a fucking big man behind their keyboard. Would they ever say that shit to anyone in person? No, because they're little bitches in their mother's basements. And that's kind of how fans act. I feel like that the partition, right, is like a little barrier where you can't touch the fans, which you can't until the Malice in the Palace happens and you get your fucking head knocked off because you're talking shit to grown men. Like, just don't do it. I don't know. Have
you seen Hall Pass? The movie Hall Pass?
Fucking love Hall Pass.
The scene where he's at the hipster coffee shop and the guy gives him attitude, and Luke Wilson or Owen Wilson is like, "You think this counter is some impenetrable moat here?"
He owns him, bro. He's like, you know what? You need a real job, and guys like me hire. Hire little punks like you.
So shape up.
Are you a Owen Wilson fan?
Yeah, I love Owen Wilson. He's
I don't like him.
Do you like Luke Wilson?
He's just such a dweeb. I like Luke Wilson just because of old school, and I love old school. But, like, dude, Owen Wilson's just such a dweeb, dude. He's such a fucking dweeb. I don't think he's that funny. I feel like he's like a Jason Bateman type. I just don't think he's very funny.
I think, well, Bateman's hilarious in Arrested Development, like hilarious. And I think
Have you seen Bad Words?
No, I don't even know what that is.
That's when you got to check out. It's
Bad Words?
Jason Bateman. Yeah, dude. Jason Bateman like doesn't finish high school, or no, actually, I don't think he finishes like middle school. And he's like a super smart dude, but he's like a total. It's like Bad Santa. Think of Bad Santa premise. And he goes into a spelling bee, like the spelling bee competition, and he's eligible because of like a loophole, right? Because he didn't actually finish like 6th grade or some shit.
Yeah.
And dude, it's fucking it's like it's like beyond raunchy. It's fucking terrible in terms of it should be rated beyond R. And Jason Bateman's the biggest prick. You know, he plays a really good prick.
Yeah.
And dude, it's just there's the other kid that he's competing with is like a little Indian kid that's like 9. Dude, it's fucking great. I'm not a Jason Bateman guy, but
yeah, Philip Baker Hall in it. He was Bookman in Seinfeld.
Yes, trust me, I know Philip Baker. I love him. Rest in peace, right? He's dead now.
He's dead. Yeah. Speaking of movies, I couldn't stream the game last night. The Wi-Fi wasn't working well, so I had downloaded There Will Be Blood, and that was my first showing. I thought it was pretty good.
You never seen it before?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's so long, bro. I don't know. I'm not a Dana. I like Daniel Day-Lewis. I just don't like him as much as everyone else. Right? It's like I don't think he's the best actor of all time.
I think he's pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Was it the best Paul Thomas Anderson movie I've ever seen? Probably not, but I thought it was darn good. And Daniel Lewis put on a hell of a performance.
Yeah, and the end, you know, there's 3 or 4 like all-time scenes in that movie. Unfortunately, there's like 30 minutes of filler in between all those scenes. Did you see No Country for Old Men though? Have you seen that?
Yeah,
I'm sure you've seen that.
That's a great movie.
So they came out in the same year, right? Filmed like essentially across the street from each other.
Yeah.
Both kind of period pieces. That you like that movie better, or which one?
I would have to see No Country for Old Men again. It's been a long time since I saw that movie, so I would say like I probably do like it better, but it's been so long since I've seen that movie. I would need to see it
again. Saints kicker or Eddie Pinheiro?
Saints kicker
they're
is a
in
great
San
story.
Fran.
But I'm sticking with Eddie P. The guy's been automatic.
Yeah, if they were in Soldier, if they were in Soldier, I'd probably go with the Saints. But at home, nice weather, give me Eddie Pinheiro.
Yeah. Eddie P.
Thoughts on Taysom Hill? Story, give us your thoughts on Taysom Hill.
I mean, I don't think he's going to be on the team next year. This is a classic Taysom Hill game where everybody scoops him up, throws him in their tight end spot, and then it's Audric Estime next week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you got to be really careful with like, am I starting Taysom Hill over Tyler Warren? No, absolutely not. Because we've seen this before with Hill, where he pops off, and then the next week he goes like, he gets you like 1.5 points. So they made a concerted effort. I believe they made a concerted effort to get him the ball as much as they could because it was his last home game with the Saints. So take that for what it's worth. But I feel like if you go get him, he's fool's gold this week.
Giants and Raiders are 2-12. Loser is the number 1 draft pick, I believe. Yeah, because now I'll defend the Titans a little bit because I feel like victories for Cam Ward at this point and gelling and all those things are more valuable than the number 1 pick. Even though in reality, like the assets are probably better, but I believe they have their franchise quarterback, and that's a loose term, at least for the next 3 years in Cam Ward. It's I'm very confident that he's a dude. So he's a dude, I guess I'd say. So I see why the Titans are winning. I think the team that's concerning is the Saints. Now, Tyler Shuck is not. He's playing himself into that discussion of they have a starter now, right? A young starter, but they went from a top 3 pick Story to if they win 1 or 2 more games, they're going to be out of the top 10, dude.
Yeah, he's a bridge quarterback.
Not good.
They're still looking. I believe they're still looking for the next starting. Like he's not. He's going to be very serviceable, but he's not a long-term solution there at quarterback. I think Cam Ward is the long-term solution there. They need to get the right team around him, but he's been really bad, but he's shown some flashes this year. Giants and Raiders, you could take both of those teams and throw them right in the bin. Like relegate them to minor league somewhere. Send them overseas. I don't want to see either one of those organizations ever again. I hate both of those teams.
Never forget that the Texans threw away a number 1 pick several years ago. Well, we don't forget because we're Bears fans. And Lovie Smith, his final act as the Bears head coach You know, it was Carolina's pick technically, but we got the first pick there from that. So that, and they fired him. He fucking wins the game to go, 3-13, 3-14, and they fire him.
Yeah. And they won it on, like, they could have just said, all right, game's over, whatever. But it was a 4th down play call where it was a throw to the end zone. You remember that?
Fucking love it, man. I love it. And that cost them that, you know what? They got dude, no, that wasn't the Caleb Williams thing. Wasn't that the Bryce Young thing? That was Bryce Young, and they got CJ Stroud. So I don't think that was the
I would have to go
maybe
back
that
to
was.
I thought it was. But...
No, it was. No, it was our no, we had the worst record because of that, and then we ended up trading away the number 1 pick. That's what happened. We traded it to Carolina.
Smith, for sure.
That's how we got the. Yeah, no, I'm saying it was actually because of that though. We got Caleb because we traded the number 1 pick because we had Justin Fields, and in turn they got Bryce Young, and we ended up getting Caleb Williamson next year. So that was pretty awesome.
Wait, 2023. Yeah, the Panthers got Bryce Young, Houston got CJ Stroud. I think that jury's still out after the way Bryce Young has been playing this year. They did get Will Anderson in that from Arizona.
I want CJ Stroud over Bryce Young, bro.
I think we yet to be seen.
Bryce Young's 5 foot. Fuck, he's a jockey.
For the record,
he looks fine. He's fine.
177 overall by the Rams in this end of the last pick of the 5th round.
That's pretty tasty. Justin, if the Raiders are tanking, do you sit Genty and play Kenneth Walker? Now,
no,
they don't need to like rest their players to tank because they just have to start Geno Smith or Kenny Pickett. And Ashton Genty played 93% of the snaps last week, Storey. 93. That is Chase Brown from last year numbers. You just don't see that. You see that from, Jonathan Taylor this year. You don't see that from anybody. 93%.
Yeah, that's bell cow usage. That's an auto start. I'm not. Yeah,
and it's against the Giants. So
thankfully, it's a bad matchup. So I mean, a good matchup, bad team.
Storey, are you high on Sutton like the legendary Chaz?
It's a bad matchup.
Chaz is the highest on Sutton, but he's just saying in general, are you high on Sutton? We were not really that high on Sutton this year.
Not in general. It's kind of by default switched back to Cortland Sutton. I mean, Bryant and Franklin were essentially like 2A, 2B behind Cortland Sutton. So the good news is Cortland Sutton's role is locked in there. So his snap share is not the question. It's a tough matchup. I think it's a risky play against the Jaguars, but they're probably going to need to throw to keep up. And without Pat Bryant, I'm not sure that they've got much else. Little Jordan Humphrey, right? Like, who else are they going to throw the ball to there? So yeah.
I lost Judkins. What's going on, Scott? Scott, a valued Patreon member. Love you, brother. Lost Judkins this week with Kittle and Jacobs hurt. So let's break this down real quick. Judkins out for majority of next year. He's definitely not playing this week, but he's out for a majority of next year.
Nope.
I think he had a concussion in that play too.
No ligament damage.
No?
He'll be back in 5 or 6 months, I bet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
okay. As long as he doesn't get suspended.
Well, that could still be on the table. One thing you do have to worry about. I completely forgot about that. Kittle, I think it's going to play. They have too much to play for. He'll get out there. Josh Jacobs, though, give me your chance that Josh Jacobs suits up in this game. 40%.
Now, hold on a second. Do they play? Let's see. They play on Saturday, by the way, so it's a short week.
God damn it. We got
I guess it's not a short week because they played Saturday, but dude, there's 3. That's I told you. There's 3 Saturday games. No, there's 2 Saturday games. But I told you there's 2 games at 3:00 on Sunday. A 2-game late window, which is going to be hilarious on Red Zone. I love watching. That's the best Red Zone ever because you get to watch every play from every game.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 noon games, 2, 3 3:00 games. What the hell are you doing, NFL? What is this schedule? Who's making this schedule? How are
different? It's because they're on. They have them on different channels, right? It's like Saturday NFL Network. Saturday night Peacock, Thursday Amazon, Thursday Netflix. You see what I'm saying? You got to get all these fucking things. I don't because I have an illegal hookup. Anyways, let's get back to his question. They are greedy. Not on my end. They don't get a dime from me, bro. So
NFL Network, Amazon, NFL Network, Peacock,
I know, and Netflix. Yeah, can you believe that? It's like, dude,
Jesus Christ,
so stupid.
Amazon Thursday night. Also, Red Zone has been bad this year. I don't want to say unwatchable, but it's been like the commercials and the inability to cut before commercials. And Scott Hansen's been really bad this year, like really bad.
He's had some hiccups. Okay, he's got some stuff going on in his personal life or something, but he's still really good. Scott Hansen's better than both of us. Storey. You're very good, but you're not Scott Hansen.
I'm not saying I am.
You're not Scott Hansen. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Who's better, Chris Hansen or Scott Hansen?
Chris Hansen. He's getting guys off the street.
Let me ask you this: if you flip flop them, right? And we don't know Chris Hansen's football knowledge. Obviously, you need to know something to host the Red Zone. Let's say they had equal football knowledge. Who does a better job at the others? Which Hansen does a better job?
What kind of question is that? How could I possibly know?
Dude, you know what would be awesome? You know what would be hilarious? So, the band Hansen, instead of having Chris Hansen, can we just have the band Hansen fill in for fucking To Catch a Predator? And you walk in there and it's the three fucking Hansen brothers walk out, be like, do you know who we are? They're like, yeah, you're Hansen. Yeah. You're going to catch a Predator.
I would rather a famous Hansen rotate into Red Zone every single week than listen to Scott Hansen this year. He's been
I love
bad.
Scott Hansen.
He's been
Lay
bad.
off.
No.
He had one bad week. I know one bad week for sure. He fumbled a bunch of words, but
bad the entire year. Anyway.
All right, Scott. Sorry, we got to answer your question. That was a little sidebar there. So he has Genty, Hampton, and Bowers. So do I start my two backs or pick up Fannin as my flex? So Genty and Hampton, those are studs because Vidal is very questionable for this week.
Yeah.
Even if Vidal comes back, he's hurt, and Hampton's got that backfield.
Yeah, it was a neck injury for Vidal, so that's weird. Concerning in and of itself. So yeah, start. Don't overthink. This is I get that. Like you got one matchup that you're looking at, and you're gonna be all week. You're gonna be wondering. Don't overthink this, right? Don't overthink it. Just go in, play the guys that you know are gonna get the usage. Like I get that Fannin's been on fire, but you could have a Shedeur Sanders bad game because he's not a stud quarterback, and then you're left with a garbage out of your tight end. You're not going to start a tight end in the flex in your fantasy championship to get cute.
You told me the same thing and told me to start Jason Myers.
I did, and I stand by that process. It was a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I think I do too. You know what's funny though is I was going to have more shares of Jake Elliott. I was going to pick up Jake Elliott and then McPherson to those like 7 spots. And so, but just to start my week, though, I had 7 shares of Jason Myers and I had 6 shares of Elliott. And I'm watching Elliott, miss the first field goal left. And then the second 50-yarder. Oh, he misses left. Oh, wait, penalty. Okay, now it's a 51-yarder. Fucking same miss and gets me 3 points. So, my starts of the week, but Seattle's defense, my kicker and defenses were so – Philly's defense only got me 9, which was a great matchup. I overreacted. It did cost me a league or two. But when you're in 20 different semifinals, you can afford to lose 1 or 2. Storey. But I don't like losing any leagues.
Who was the other kicker that was way off yesterday?
I don't know. A lot of them. The kicking's gone bad. They made that point on Red Zone that kicking has been just bad the last 3 weeks. Now I think the weather has a lot to do with that, right? It's the weather's tougher, the wind's tougher, but some of these guys are missing dome kicks. So
yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, Elliott had 2 missed kicks, right? And they went for 2 eventually. They stopped even going to him.
Well, he says DK Metcalf suspended the last 2 games. What a dipshit. He definitely is a dipshit, although I still love him. And then GT says he called him a watermelon junkie. Now that is a slur for sure, but it's like an undercover slur. It's kind of funny, right?
Yeah, just don't do that to people. That's bad.
What's the equivalent of a white slur? You know what I'm saying? The watermelon thing. What do we call white people? You're a latte lover. You know what I mean? That's what you call a white person, as a slur. You like lattes, bro.
Etsy.
It's a kind of a white thing.
Oh, you Etsy lover. You Etsy junkie. There you go. White women love Etsy.
Yeah, something like that. Cool. Yeah, they do. And they like true crime. They like true crime and Etsy. And smut. Does your wife read smut at all?
No. But I once saw.
Not that you know of.
I once saw a member at the club reading 50 Shades of Grey at the pool.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about like actual smut. So like,
That's
Erica has some books, dude, that are like, dude, it's fucked. Like
talking about like
it's fucked.
loins and whatnot.
No, it's like so insane that I can't even mention it on the show. I'll read you a passage later tonight.
I look forward to it.
Hell yeah, I do it in a sexy voice too. Storey, how you doing? Is that good? GT says Scott LML, but yeah, I gotta expect a smack if you don't know the guy. Jay Moore, this is you like my voice? Jay Moore, Super Bowl predictions. Super Bowl predictions. What do you got, Storey?
I don't know. Steelers.
You don't know. We have no idea.
Steelers and the Panthers.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Steelers and the Panthers. I have no.
Is it Bills Rams? Is that a safe one?
I do think it's Rams Patriots. I think we're gonna get a rematch.
Not the Broncos, not the Jags.
I believe in Vrabel.
You know, I was just thinking, Storey, our playoff fantasy league, by the way, I think we still have one spot available, guys. Anyone that's watching, we might do 10 teams. It's gonna be wild with the quarterback situation, kickers and defenses, which are onesie positions. Get in the Discord, get in the Patreon. You can access to that. It's gonna start in 2 weeks, but you know, a big part of the playoff fantasy is being able to predict and like, you know, you want teams that go far, right?
Right.
And now it's different because there's only one bye, and like we have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen. It's gonna be fucking chaos, dude. I love it. It's gonna be super. I'm super excited about it.
It's gonna be. You got to think like, all right, so the team that, like the two teams that get to bye, like there's no guarantee that those teams are winning. Their, you know, usually those teams are good enough. You expect they're gonna win a couple of games, whatever. But there's no guarantee that those. So you like miss out on week 1. And then they could easily lose in week 2. Like there's going to be some interesting strategies for playoff.
The upside, like the upside to win, the players that win, like the playoff fantasy leagues, is when you get, you know, a team that doesn't have the bye and they go to the Super Bowl because you get that extra game. But the nice thing is you're guaranteed in the second round. But like you said, there's no guarantee they win that first game. So you're essentially getting the same thing you got with the first week, and they just lose in the second round. So, and dude, you can't tell me that like the Patriots, if they play the Bills, so the Patriots get the bye, let's say the Broncos get the bye. Who's favored in Denver? Bills, Broncos. It's like a fucking 1.5 point line.
Yeah, it is a 1.5 point line. I bet the Bills are still favored though.
That's what I'm saying. So like, and just an example, like especially because you know you're going to see Josh Allen in the playoffs, which we know now he is dealing with an ankle injury right now. Just so everyone, a foot injury, I believe. I don't know if it's ankle, but Josh Allen never misses a game, bro. That dude's indestructible. What a fucking G.
What was the
Whip Hero says? What's up?
Jags going to Super Bowl.
Yeah, you think there's a chance? Give us a chance. What's your percentage? Jags going to Super Bowl. 10%.
Day to day with a sore foot. What a bitch. Didn't miss any.
Didn't miss a game.
Yeah. That the Jags go 10%.
That's what I was gonna say. That's decent. That's a decent chance. I mean, that for the Jags.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: is this team better than the Blake Bortles team that had that 10-point lead against the Patriots in the AFC Championship about 12 years ago? Remember that team?
First of all,
this is a better team.
I was in the French Quarter in New Orleans watching that game, and there was like a contingent of a half dozen Jags fans that were losing their minds, and it was awesome. That being said, that place smelled like piss. Anyway, yes.
Hey, don't slander New Orleans, bro.
Dude, New Orleans sucks, man. It's such a
you suck
city. It's such a stinky city,
dude. Anyway, you go to Disney every year. I like Disney, but I'd go to New Orleans all day over Disney. Get the fuck out of here, Storey.
It smell like piss.
I don't give a fuck about clean, dude.
I do think this team is better. They've certainly a measurable better defense. ETN's playing incredibly well right now. Lawrence, like I mentioned earlier, is playing the best of his career. And I like Liam Cohen. I've always liked Liam Cohen. I don't think he's like a genius, but he certainly knows how to put a good product on the field, a watchable product.
This is a loaded question from Jay Moore. What's a sneaky wide receiver start this week? So I think what he's trying to say is either a guy that's on your bench or a guy that's on the free. I don't think you want to roll with a free agent guy in the finals because your team's probably too good for that. So do you have a sneaky? So like I think an example of that would be Stephon Diggs this past week.
Yeah, I do have one, and it's Troy Franklin, because I would be floored if Pat Bryant played this week. And I do feel like they're going to need to put up some points there. And Franklin rotated pretty evenly with Pat Bryant in the 2 wide receiver sets. He should slot in that 2 wide receiver role, and he has had good games in the past. Pat Bryant was basically taking that role from him, but with him out, that's a good sneaky start right there.
Thank you, Storey. Any quarterback in the Panthers is going to struggle.
Sure.
That's part of it, but the problem is Bryce Young is just very small, and he's proved us wrong. I feel like the narrative this is what I'm always against in this channel. We try not to do this. We try not to overreact to every little thing, whether that be the echo chamber or 1 or 2 games or 1 or 2 seasons from these early draft picks. And Bryce Young was never given a chance early on. He also played really poorly, and then now I feel like he had a couple good games and it was bad. Now he's back to being good again. He's always just been fine. He's not a good pick at the number 1 pick. He'll never live up to that. It takes a lot to live up to that because Trevor Lawrence is in the same boat. I'll tell you this, he's better than Tua. Okay. He is more promising than Tua. He is a starter in the NFL. Bryce Young, savvy. He's athletic, man. He's a leader. I think I like the guy. But is he in the Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels pantheon of young quarterbacks? Absolutely not.
We'll see. Let's give it some time. I don't think so, but you never know. Like it could take some time. We've pushed these quarterbacks into playing earlier and earlier and earlier when their college programs are not set up to get them ready to play in the NFL. So the chance to learn and grow. I'm not going to take anything. I'm not going to make any judgments on him until later on, as opposed to Caleb Williams, who I think is just going to be a career backup. No, I'm kidding. He's good. He's pretty good.
What the fuck? Well, here's the cautionary tale here about we're talking about the jockey here in the tiny man. It's Kyler Murray, right? Kyler Murray and Bryce Young. Like Kyler Murray was more successful his first 3 years than Bryce Young has been, and Kyler Murray is on the scrap heap right now. Okay. So you can't tell me Kyler Murray is probably more talented than Bryce Young coming out. It's close, but more talented and better scrambler for sure. Bigger arm coming out, and look where he's at now.
Yeah, but I think that the work ethic can be debated about Kyler Murray.
That's true. That's the X factor there you're talking about. No, the work ethic's not debated. It's bad, bro. It's
yeah. So between the two, Bryce Young,
he's sleepy. I'm sleepy.
I think Bryce Young's going to put in the man hours to study the science of what you need.
It's bad. You know what? I think we knew about this coming out a little bit about Kyler Murray, about his work ethic, but it's the same thing as Johnny Manziel. It doesn't really, it goes unnoticed when you perform on the field, and they didn't tell us everything. Storey.
Good. Tell me everything.
Okay. They were both here. They were both inside me. Eduardo was in my mouth and Luther was in my butt.
Oh my God, no, don't tell me everything. What? No, what?
Damn it, Bonnie.
Eduardo who?
Sanchez.
Holy shit, tell us more.
Then Luther went in Eduardo's butt for a while.
Tell us less. Tell us less.
Then they both completed on each other. I was left out of the finale.
Drake London, he's good this week, right? He didn't get hurt, no setbacks. He's good. We're very confident in Drake London.
He wasn't even limited at practice today, so although they wouldn't practice today.
GT agrees about Hansen being distracted. It's not just. I think it's better than man. I mean, what you're mentioning is the production of red zone, but like the idea of red zone, I still love, so I don't care about the production as much. And then I was talking about my Hansen brothers, and in terms of Chris Hansen and To Catch a Predator. Bop, you just got caught. Yay. Just singing. That's awesome. That's awesome. Bolt up, motherfuckers. So do you think now Justin Herbert he should, in my mind, be in the MVP conversation? Because, dude, he's balling. Real life football, Justin Herbert, 10 out of 10 this year. Would you agree?
No. 10 out of 10? Come on.
Bro, his offensive line is garbage.
Yeah, I get it. But he's not elevating this team. I don't think so. Like
what? They have 11 wins.
They've got
11 wins.
They've got
garbage offensive line.
They've You got Amarian Hampton, Aranda Gadsden, Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson, like a solid core around him. I get that the offensive line has been decimated, but come on, MVP conversation. Like let's look at his stats before we start talking MVP.
Dude, he's got like 400 rushing yards this year. The dude's fucking carrying the team, man. Joseph, thanks for all the advice each and every week. Made it to the finals. Happy holidays to you and your family. Same to you. Appreciate you, my dude. If you're interested in a Christmas present for me, hop in the Discord. Get in the Patreon. That's a good way to give back to this show. Also, it's worth it if you're going to win. And next year, guess what? More the same, my dude. We're going to keep on dominating each and every year. Bets, fantasy, you name it. We're going to do it. Duval. Should I start Drake London or Cortland Sutton? That's a tricky one.
I don't think so.
Give me. I'm going to take a pee and get a beer while you answer that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go right back to Drake London. I mentioned the snap share percentage both in 3 wide receiver sets and especially 1 wide receiver set or 2 wide receiver sets, 75% there. It's a game that should be high scoring. I'd worry about that Broncos offense. Just Bo Nix has been pretty hot and cold when it comes to passing for a lot of this, and we saw Cortland Sutton kind of fall off for a good stretch there. I'm confident that the what's the name of the team? The Falcons should slot right back into, or Drake London for the Falcons should slot right back in there. And it's the Rams. It should be a high-scoring game. And also it's on Monday night. So if you want some excitement for the last day of the fantasy season, there you go. That's the one you go with. Otherwise, yeah, that's what I'm going with. That Broncos-Chiefs game, I think it's just going to be a slog fest. 36.5 over-under in that game versus 49.5 for the Rams-Falcons. Like 13 more points. So, yeah, give me London.
If Kittle misses, would you play Tunges or Juwan Johnson?
I'm going to stick with Juwan.
Yeah, especially in PPR. If it's standard, maybe Tunges?
Yeah, because of touchdown upside. I mean, but Juwan, don't forget, Foster Moreau's got an ankle injury, so that pushed Juwan Johnson to a 70% snap share. 8 for 89 this past week. He's a strong tight end one, I think. Even with I like the appeal of Tunges, but I'm going to stick with this one. Feels a pretty good play for Johnson.
I could see it. I do want to talk to Samson.
I want to talk to Samson. Climbing to the moon like that bitch Alice Cram.
Yeah, I worry about that being a committee. If Samson comes back
in Cleveland.
Yeah, Sanders was in there.
What if Samson doesn't come back though? Is it Travion Williams? I always kind of liked him in Cincinnati.
I mean, in PPR, that's the guy that I would go with, but I would probably stay away, just like I was advising people to stay away from this Audric Estime, Evan Hull situation.
Okay, that's a good call. So I know obviously in our championship matchups, we don't want to be debating these players, like having in their lineup. But you know what? Sometimes it's gross. Sometimes you have, let's say you had Josh Jacobs and you're not handcuffed with the hell's his name? I've been drinking.
Emmanuel Wilson.
Emmanuel Wilson. There you go. Would you start? Let's say Samson's out, right? Samson's out. Would you start one of the 2 Cleveland running backs, or would you start Audric Estime?
Probably one of the 2 Cleveland running backs.
Estime played 58% of the snaps. I know that's not a lot, but at least he had the. It was Taysom Hill was the reason he didn't play more. It wasn't Evan Hull.
I mean, but Evan Hull was in on passing down situations, and that's the problem. Like they're both committees. I don't know. I would take a shot at Michael Carter before that. I would take a shot at Jawar Johnson for Houston before I played with that kind of stuff. So, man, I would have to be really desperate to start Raheem Sanders, Travion Williams, Audric Estime, or Evan Hull. Really desperate.
Would you play Tajay Spears over all of them in PPR? I know we're going down in the depths, but
yeah. Who the Titans got this week?
They have the Saints.
Oh man, yeah. Saints defense has been better.
Erica has that same exact conundrum because she has Rashee Rice and she has Roma Dunze, and she needs a flex. And right now she has Tajay Spears, and there's nothing on the wire.
Well,
So
Roman
it's like-
is not going to play, and I don't even think I want to start Rashid Rice.
I think no. Rashid Rice is not going to play for sure because they play Thursday, and he's still not practicing with concussion, so he's out for sure. I think Roma Dunze has a better chance to play than Rashid Rice. That's not saying much, but
no, it's not because he also had a setback. He was on track, and then he had a setback in warm-ups. So that's a problem. God, I think I would in PPR. I would probably go with Tyjae Spears.
Wow. Finally, Tyler Spears finally comes through. Should I start the Pats or Seahawks defense next week? This might be the Pats against the Jets. As much as I love the Seahawks, I want to play a defense against the Jets. I believe that Brady Cook got cooked. Yeah, he got sacked 8 times last week and then 7 times the week before. So
I picked up I have the Seahawks, and I wasn't going to drop them because I don't want to leave them on the wire for my opponent to pick them up. But I also picked up New England. And I picked up, and I have New Orleans, so I've got New England, Seattle, and New Orleans on a team that I'm in the championship. So I've got that same exact scenario, and it's like assuming it's Brady Cook, I'm going to play New England in there.
It's going to be Brady Cook. I think they're just saying fuck it. I mean, who are they going to bring back? Tyrod Taylor? What? There's no point. And then Justin Fields, I think, is just done there. So
yeah.
What a mess. Okay, we have about 15 minutes left in the show, gentlemen. If we get 3 more supers, I will do a chug and then add 20 minutes to the show.
There are a lot of low scoring. Like, there should be no shortage of streamable fantasy defenses. There's a lot of good options this week. Listen to some of these totals: 36.5, 39.5, 40.5, 34, 39.5, 43, 42, 42.5, 43. Like, it's going to be a gross week of football.
Any chance K9 goes off again this week, or maybe it's a Sharps week? So, Storey, who are you? If you had to make a choice in half PPR, are you taking Kenneth Walker or are you taking Charbonnet?
Kenneth Walker.
Explain yourself.
I have never deviated.
Gotcha. All right, I gotta get a beer. Go ahead.
I've never deviated from saying Kenneth Walker. He's been like, they haven't given him the workload that we were hoping, but he certainly looked very good last week. The Panthers defense doesn't really scare me, so their front 4 isn't terribly onerous. I'm gonna go with, even though they love putting Sharps in, I'm gonna go with K9. I'm sticking with him.
We could finally put our hands together and clap a little bit for a very nice performance from Kenneth Walker. It wasn't too little too late. Good for you.
Very nice performance. Very nice and clean performance. Very, very, very nice. Which one of these talented entertainers, who I am not attracted to at all, will be the winner?
Yeah, good stuff.
I'm hoping I win the 3rd place game. I need Trevor to pass the Brian Thomas. This should be a very good Brian Thomas week. I feel like this is a week I might bet is over for yards. He looks healthy again. Finally, Storey. Finally.
Yeah, but he's not really necessary to that team. Like, it feels like he is kind of an afterthought. Like, not an afterthought, but he's certainly not the. Remember last year he was like the only dude in town, and that has changed significantly this year. So I don't know. I'm not really keen on Brian Thomas this week, despite how well that passing game is working.
Drop a big boo for Emmanuel Wilson.
And you got to give credit to this rookie sensation wide receiver out of Ohio State, Emeka Egbegbue. Emeka Egbegbue. Emeka Egbegbue.
Why would you drop Emmanuel Wilson?
He's dropping a big boo for Emmanuel Wilson. Oh, and Emmanuel Wilson. No, if it was for Emmanuel Wilson, yes. Because Emmanuel Wilson has a chance to crack your lineup. A big boo you can't start if you have like DJ Moore as your flex. I'm starting DJ Moore over a big boo.
Oh, that's an easy one. Give me a tougher one.
But I would start Emmanuel Wilson over DJ Moore possibly.
If there's no Josh Jacobs, I would. 100%.
That's the point. Like, a big boo has no path to being started in your lineup, most likely. At least the teams I have him in at this point, because I don't want 1 for 40. Nice 40 yards on 1 catch. That's cool.
3 wide receiver, 2 flex league. I could see him in there, but regular 3 wide receivers, 1 flex. Yeah.
We going Colson Loveland, Tyler Warren, or Jawan Johnson this week. Let's call it full PPR.
Juwan Johnson.
It's not Tyler Warren. Really over. Let's say that Burden's ruled out, and so is say both the receivers are ruled out. Let's say that Romadunze is ruled out as well, and Luther Burden. We're still going to go with Juwan Johnson.
They were both ruled out last week against a mediocre secondary, and Colson Loveland posted a 3 for 34 line or a 4 for 34 line or something like that.
But now you have the 49ers in a nice weather game. That's the upside. Like, that's the shootout game. That game could be like, this game was a shootout with the Colts, bro.
It will not shoot out. They're incapable of putting together 4 quarters. It's impossible. The Bears can't do it.
Okay.
Can't do it. And I'm not
Saints
start Colson Loveland. I'm not doing it. Stop trying to make Colson Loveland a thing. He's not a thing yet. He will be. I get it. He's on a good path.
No, he will be.
Just stick with the guy who posted 85 yards last week.
Are we willing to eat our words a little bit of our Colson Loveland hate a little bit? Like, I'm not going to go all the way and say that it was a good pick, but
it's not going to happen this year. Like, he's not going to break out this year. It'll probably happen next year, I think. But like, Kmet is a thorn in the side, and they're just not passing that much. So let's see what happens next year when everybody's healthy again. I will happily eat my hat if I'm wrong on Colson Loveland. I think I'll be wrong on Colson Loveland versus Tyler Warren long term, but we'll see. You know, need to get a quarterback back there for Indy, but I'm not starting this week. You can't make me.
okay. I love it. GT, do not drop Emmanuel Wilson. We're very clear on that one. Let it play out. If Josh Jacobs is active and there's reports he's going to play, then drop him. JML, what defensive teams are we rocking with championship week? If you need someone on the wire, I think the Cowboys at Commanders with Josh Johnson. I know it seems gross, but like, that's a great play. And I'm just going with teams I know are going to be.
I'm still not doing it. No, that defense is historically bad, but there's plenty of good options. The Lions might be out there. The Chargers are a fairly decent streaming option. The Bengals are actually, believe it or not, a fairly decent streaming option. The Steelers against the Browns, the Saints against the Titans, the Jaguars against the Colts if they're available.
Dude, you're not starting the Bengals defense. You're not starting the Bengals defense over the Cowboys defense. Get the fuck out of here.
I would. I'm not starting the Cowboys at all.
Dude, Jacoby Brissett can throw the ball. Josh Johnson's a fucking tool.
Okay.
Like, they're not scoring over 10 points in this game. I don't care what defense is against. Like, we were talking about the Terry McLaurin thing. We're not starting anyone against, like, I don't care about the matchup. The Cowboys, they're still a proud team. I feel like they're still going to play it out. We saw this last week.
Takes sacks. Like, the thing with defenses is it's not as much about the scoring as it is about the ability to generate pressure, sacks, turnovers, etc. Jacoby's going to throw
big plays.
And I think that they're going to try to keep the ball, like, they're going to try to grind this game out. So a lot of short passes. They're going to keep Juwan Johnson from getting hit. So not Juwan Johnson. What's his name?
You got Josh Johnson. You got Juwan Johnson in your brain. By the way, what did you think about that Michael Wilson catch? Or you didn't see that either.
I didn't see it. Is he incredible?
Oh, yeah, he's so much better than Marvin Harrison. It's not even fucking funny.
Well,
Storey, what props should we consider the next college football round? Or you don't do a lot of props, do you?
No, but there is one that I was looking at for Northwestern's prop. GT, you're not in Illinois, are you? Because you can't bet on Illinois teams if you are. But if you're not, take Caleb Kolomafe's over on rushing yards. Central Michigan is a pretty bad run defense, and Kolomafe has been their workhorse since about midway through the season. So Caleb Kolomafe over on rushing yards.
All right, Fairbairn for next week. Absolutely. We always start Kaimi Fairbairn.
Absolutely. I'm always looking for Jack Doyle.
Love that. I love that clip. Let's find favorite Michael Wilson catch.
Third down reset.
Yeah, check that out.
They said incomplete?
No, it was a touchdown. They overruled it, but
they did. Okay.
The high pointing, that guy's just such a dog. He had 3 targets and he had 2 for 52 and a touchdown. Like, that guy is just so good.
Yeah,
so good. I love Michael Wilson. My favorite call. He's saving my teams this year. GT McLaurin or Michael Wilson, or if Jacobs is out, Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson's the start there over these two guys. What about McLaurin versus Michael Wilson? I'm going Michael Wilson.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Michael Wilson too. Man, if McLaurin had put together.
Now, what if Mariota was playing? What if Mariota was playing in this game?
I would well, I don't know, man. Like he was on his way to a great game, and then they just went away from him. I don't understand why coaches do that. But whatever. I would probably, I'd probably go back to McLaurin. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Marvin Harrison sucks. That's just simply put. He's hurt right now. He's not playing a full allotment of snaps, and Michael Wilson is. And that was just a weird game with Elijah Higgins, getting all these points. You had Trey McBride. I mean, that's just such a weird, he's been so consistent all year. He had his worst game of the year this game, and it just makes no sense. But I like the matchup. So I'm going Michael Wilson unless if you're going to tell me if it's not Josh Johnson and we have, Mariota, who's fine, I would consider McLaurin, but I think I'm going Michael Wilson for floor and upside. And then if it's Emmanuel Wilson's a starter, I'm going Emmanuel Wilson over Michael Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, in a standard, I would probably go McLaurin. I think he's more of a touchdown guy.
Jay Moore, thoughts on 49ers wide receiver core next season? Ricky Pearsall cannot be trusted. I will never draft him again. That man has had, let's see, but not talking about the gunshot issue story. Before the gunshot, he missed OTAs his rookie year with a soft tissue, and then gunshot, and then got hurt again his rookie year. This year, OTAs injury, week 2 knee injury. Now this is 5 injuries in a very limited time, and it's soft tissue stuff, which sucks. Also, Ricky Pearsall plays football like Puka Nacua, but he is not built like Puka Nacua, and I just can't trust him. I can't. I won't. I love Ricky Pearsall. He's very good.
Yeah. So Juwan Johnson, they re-signed. Brandon Ayuk is gone. He's a ghost, although he did drive by the facility in 90 miles an hour. So they're going to draft somebody. They're probably going to draft somebody because they're not going to run it back with Sky Moore next year, and they can't trust Ricky Pearsall.
No, it just sucks because I like the player. He'll be fine. I just maybe in best ball. I mean, I don't want to injure a player in best ball. If he falls to the 10th round, then I'm in on Ricky Pearsall because when he plays, he produces. But it's a guessing game here, and I need to get some. GT says because coaches are jackasses story. I need to get a clip. I need to record you going off for just 8 seconds on just saying coaches are jackasses or coaches are stupid, and I'll do a little montage when we're talking about coaches. It'd be awesome. Jonathan's ready to go to this Indiana game. Who do they play? Bro. I'm not a college football guy, as you know. Who do they play? Indiana plays.
I don't remember.
You're the college football guy. You're fucking discrediting yourself.
God, I don't remember who they play. Now I'm gonna have to
chill out. Story.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
Okay then.
You just take it easy, man.
That's your answer for everything, dude. And let me point out something. Pacifism is not, look at our current situation with that camel fucker in Iraq. Pacifism is not something to hide behind.
Just take it easy, man.
I'm perfectly calm, dude.
Yeah, waving the fucking gun around?
Calmer than you are.
Alabama.
Yeah, Jonathan says that. Alabama. Nice. That'd be a fun game. Let's hope Alabama gets beaten in.
Oh yeah, I hope they
Seahawks number 1. They shouldn't have made that. They shouldn't even made it, right? They were on the bubble.
They have 3 losses, including the conference championship. So yeah, I think that Notre Dame had a better case, but here we are. Join the conference again.
Trone starting Lave and Nico at wide receiver next week. My flex is gonna be tough. Jalen Warren, Gainwell, McLaurin, Debo, Devonta Smith. So it's not. I would go in full PPR. I'd go Gainwell over Warren. McLaurin's out of there. Debo's out of there. It's Devonta Smith, but that game might have some weather. Check the weather reports in Buffalo. It's either in Buffalo or Philly. Either way, it's going to be some weather from what I hear. So I think, excuse me, is it Gainwell? Is that the answer?
If it's a PPR, it's Gainwell for sure. They are not keen on. They're not forcing the ball to Devonta Smith like they are to AJ Brown. So could be another down game for him.
Can we all just stop this? Everyone's saying Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in the league and Gibbs. The best running back in the NFL and the best running back I've seen the last 10, 15 years is Bijan fucking Robinson.
Bijan?
Bijan, dude, how good is Bijan Robinson? He's the best. I mean, eye test, like they just got to use him better and give him some goddamn touchdowns for once. But
yeah, I know. Like the dude's like his balance is unlike anything I've seen since. I mean, Jamal Charles. Like the guy is just incredible. The ability to hit holes. Now I'll tell you who's also like he leveled up his running game is Achane, man. The guy went from being like a scatty kind of guy to being a patient runner. Seeing him wait for he's looking like Le'Veon Bell out there. He won't have that kind of career, I don't think, because he doesn't have that size. But man, like him waiting for blocks to develop downfield, waiting for the holes to open up. I'm really impressed with Achane this year.
You know who's not a good running back? Travion Henderson. I know it sounds crazy because he had those couple big runs, but if you watch the film, everything we were promised of Travion Henderson is not true. He's a second worst PFF graded pass protector this year, which was the big thing coming out. He's a great fucking pass protector. Okay, trash. The comparisons to Jahmyr Gibbs, and it doesn't mean he's trash, but like he is fast. Okay, Travion Henderson's very fast. That's all he is, and I can't wait for people to take Travion Henderson top 15 next year. Like not running backs, top 15 overall when they still have Stevenson there. And it's going to be the worst pick ever. And it's going to be, here's my comparison. Next year, Travion Henderson is going to be the Bucky Irving this year. Now, Bucky Irving was hurt by injuries, but right now he's healthy. And look what's going on. Sean Tucker's getting every goal line snap. Rashad White's getting every third down snap. He is between the 20s grinder. What are they doing? What's going on?
Like, you got to get Bulls out of there. He clearly doesn't know what he's doing. The fact that it's a three-way committee is just absolutely. You see what? Let's say the 49ers took a timeout today to get CMC back on the field when they're at the 5-yard line because he's their back. Like this three-way committee is an absolute disaster. I'm not touching Bucky Irving with a 10-foot pole next year.
We like Gainwell more with DK out 100% because not that I can like him anymore, but it's just they might line him up in the slot. You know, they're going to give him. They're going to play 2 running back sets more. So I definitely do. And the durability. Good call from Jay Moore. It's the durability too. Bijan's never been hurt in any level of football, high school, college, pros. That's unreal.
So
never heard of that before.
Like, can we drop? Are you dropping? You're not dropping Algier, Robinson. Those guys, are you? I mean, like
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for practice.
Yeah. Make sure they.
I mean, at this point, though, who am I picking up for them? You know what I mean? Like, which, as you know, Storey, I'm a guy that drafts all the handcuffs, and I'm going to continue to do so because this year, none of the top 5 guys. Blake Corum has played himself into a very functional role in fantasy, but Algier has had big weeks, but you never knew when to play him, so he's been a bust. Brian Robinson, like I have those guys still on my bench from September. Like they're just marinating, they're just chilling, bro. They're just like they're like the guy at the party that just has the weed.
I've had Brian Robinson and Tyler Algier. I've had Tyler Algier since I drafted and Brian Robinson since I picked him up in like week 3 and then Corum since like week 5. And they've just been taking up 3 spots on my team. And I'm like, God darn it. Second year in a row.
Now you might think, I know. And you might think this should deter us from drafting these guys in the 13th, 14th, 15th round. Ain't going to deter me because I have one of like my most successful fantasy years. The number 1 was when Le'Veon Bell held out. It wasn't even an injury. That's James Conner, right? That was my last pick. Literally that year I had him in 18 of 20 leagues as the last round pick. And of course, Le'Veon holds out. And what sucks is James Conner got hurt week 13, I believe.
Yeah, he got hurt.
So he wasn't even around. But
yeah, I think it was in the fantasy playoffs. I think it was like week 14.
Week before, yeah. It was the bye. Yeah, week 14 or week 15. So back then there wasn't a 17-game schedule. So it was essentially the wild card, the first round of the fantasy playoffs. But Storey, I had buys in every single league because I had James Conner as my 16th round pick, who was RB4 that year, and I got him my last pick. So like, I know it's 1 year, right? But like, I think I quadrupled up that year. That was like, it was because I had the fucking top 5 running back for free. So I'm going to keep on doing it. And eventually these dudes are going to go down. And now Christian McCaffrey is definitely going to go down. I mean, he has to. Next year, I'm not touching Christian McCaffrey. Are you?
That's some witchcraft stuff. Like, I can't wrap my head around that. But like,
I called it, man. I said they have a fucking doll.
Who who was the big waiver pickup this year? Like the big, I mean, Michael Wilson, obviously, but like who was the game-changing, league-winning waiver pickup this year? You know, your David Johnson from the past, your Alvin Kamara's his rookie year. Like, who's the guy that is propelling people? I don't think there is one, right? Like, people are talking about, this week, Imari DiMarcado, Evan Hull, Michael Carter.
Michael Wilson. Michael Carter, yeah.
Michael Wilson. But even
Michael Carter. No, Michael Carter I was mentioning.
Yeah.
There's been nobody. I think. Let's go through here. Undrafted guys. Woody Marks early in the year would be one, but he's not playing right now.
Well, he's hurt, and even when he's been in, it's been a complete struggle. He was finally getting the workload, and then he gets hurt. So
Emmanuel Wilson might be that one. Jacoby Brissett on the quarterback side. Emmanuel Wilson, if he has a big game this week, he was not obviously held on to by anyone.
Maybe Harold Fannin.
There's nobody, dude.
Yeah.
Harold Fannin, but I feel like he was picked up week 3, so like technically it's a waiver pickup, but we're talking more in terms of like the week 13, week 14 pickups that dominate 3 weeks.
I'm talking in general.
Oh, Harold Fannin.
Okay,
I'd be that guy.
Kind of, but like in the middle of the season,
Adonai Mitchell, but nah.
I'm talking about like,
shut up.
I'm talking about like the guy that is the week 1, week 2. Nobody knew it was going to happen. You pick the guy up, and that's the guy. You run that guy. He's a position 1 for the rest of the year. And
there ain't nothing.
There's nothing, right? Even Harold Fannin, like when Njoku was healthy, it was a kind of like rolling the dice whether or not you were starting him. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Is it because of the way that teams have adjusted their linebacking core? They're drafting smaller, shiftier, faster linebackers, so the hits aren't as punishing. Are there fewer hip drop tackles? Although George Kittle said that his ankle injury happened on a hip drop tackle. He doesn't think is a high ankle sprain, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm not going to stop drafting these guys, but it's just 2 years in a row where all the top guys, outside of CMC last year, obviously.
But hey, that wasn't an in-season injury. That happened. That was a chronic injury. I'm saying it wasn't like an in-season injury. He came in the year, didn't play. So I can't even count him as a guy that went down. We've had no in-season injuries from these running backs, and eventually, it always goes back to the norm. And next year is going to be a bonanza. So I think next year is going to be a 0 RB year for me, bro. That's what it's going to be. Henderson or Judkins better back?
Oh, I think Judkins is the better back.
I agree.
Better
Henderson's more versatile, I suppose.
Henderson's more versatile. Might be the better overall athlete, but Judkins is the better running back to me.
Has Henderson shown you anything in the past game, though? Really? Because he hasn't shown me anything.
He got hurt, so it's tough to take away too much. He
Top 3 running backs next year. Bijan. We guys got to start calling him Bijan. Bijan, Gibbs, and JT. What do you think?
CMC over JT.
Gross. I'm not doing it.
I'm telling you that's what will happen, though.
Where will Corum be drafted next year? Is this going to be a David Montgomery range?
No, probably lower than that. 8th round.
Well, where will Kyron Williams be drafted next year? 4th, 5th round?
3rd round, probably.
Ew.
It depends on what they do. It depends on what they do in the playoffs. If they are in fact keeping Kyron healthy for the playoffs and they showcase him more as the feature back, then I could see it swinging 3 and 8.
Kenneth Gainwell is the answer. That was the pickup. That's the pickup. That was early in the year. And also, he had that 3-touchdown game, too. Jay Moore, who sucks more, Benson or Marvin Harrison? Well, Benson hasn't actually had the opportunity. He got hurt. We've seen Marvin Harrison in the field a lot. He's been bad, so it's Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, he sucks.
Why was Isaiah Bond so hyped up? He wasn't hyped up. I mean,
he was hyped up by the NFL draft pundits. But first of all, he's on a bad team with several bad quarterbacks, so it's kind of not his fault to a certain extent. Secondly, his college production is less than stellar. The fact that these teams get enamored with speedy wide receivers and they draft them so high is beyond me. Look at Matthew Golden as example A and Isaiah Bond this year as example B.
Ooh, do you guys remember league winners? James Robinson, that was one. Jeff Wilson, 1 year. Cam Akers, We also had who was the Dante Foreman? Remember Dante Foreman?
Yeah, Dante Foreman.
Had a huge season.
There was a guy in Miami too. At the top of my head, I can't remember. Another guy, I guess, like for a stretch, like for that 3-game stretch, Rico Dowdle would be a guy you can consider. But like you were hoping that Rico was the guy that you
Rico
picked up.
Dowdle was drafted at every league, though.
It's true.
Well, at least every week I was in because I had him.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. If he was
round 14. Well, it's a shallow 10-team league, maybe not, but any 12-team league I was in, he was either drafted by me or drafted by someone else 2 rounds before the end.
Okay. Well, I don't know if he was drafted in every. Yeah, I don't know if he was drafted in every 12-team league though. But you only got like 4.5 great games out of him. Like,
I like that though. Yeah, Drake May was a guy that wasn't drafted, wasn't a free agent, but he was probably the value at quarterback.
Yeah, we talked about
Trevor Lawrence also. Trevor Lawrence is right now quarterback 5.
Right.
So Furious says, should I play Trevor Lawrence over Lamar if he plays? Yes. Look at Trevor Lawrence's last 5 games, dude. Finally. Storey, we've been clamoring for this. I know I have in particular. Trevor Lawrence needs a run to open up the pass. And also, like, he's not great at dissecting defenses. So when it's not there, instead of throwing a pick, just run, Trevor. And what is he doing now? You know, Liam Cohen's like, hey, man, you're actually really fast. And you should probably just run because you're fucking fast and you're actually huge. What is Trevor Lawrence? 6'6", 230, dude? 225? He's huge.
Big guy, yeah.
It opens up everything, man. Look at Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert, I'll say, the reason he hasn't been running, outside this rookie year is because he's always been hurt. Trevor Lawrence hasn't actually been hurt. He just was choosing not to run. So I feel like Justin Herbert was like hampered by injuries. That's why he wasn't running. Now he's saying, fuck it. He's like, broken hand, I don't give a fuck, I'm running.
Yeah, 460 yards on the ground this year. He better be careful, though.
Yeah, well, he's a dude. He's a tough dude. So as much as you're not a big fan of him, he's a warrior. I want him as my starting quarterback. What would you rather have Caleb Williams going forward if you can make a trade right now, or to start a team? Now Herbert's I think 27, I want to say 28, and Caleb's 24. Would you rather have Justin Herbert, who's established and was a blue chipper, or would you rather have Caleb Williams?
Justin Herbert.
Did you say Custon Herbert? Were you saying both?
No, Justin Herbert.
I want to say Caleb, but Justin Herbert's just such he's literally a quarterback that's built in a lab.
He's a leader of men. He's a 6'4", 6'5" man. That's what I want. I want a guy leading. I don't want a guy that has to throw on the run every single time. I want a guy
he still has pimples.
I want a guy that can dissect defenses, right? Go through progressions, read coverages, audible out. That's what I want. That's what I want for my quarterback.
Where will Rico end up next year? And Jay Moore has a good call. I think you're right, man. Rico to Kansas City. How about that?
It feels like Kansas City feels like a draft candidate for a running back.
I think he signed a 2-year. Rico signed a 2-year, $7 million contract though, so he's still technically under contract for 1 more year with the Panthers. So
there you go. So he's not
had Judkins, but they might trade him. Had Judkins, but I have Evans and Monungai for flex.
Mongoli.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell that name either. Danny Dimes was one of those guys until he got hurt for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Storey says they're going to draft somebody. Is Kamara against Tennessee playable over Wilson? Alvin Kamara is not playing football again this year. Peach, or Furious, not playing. So you could have dropped Kamara 4 weeks ago. He's not coming back this year. And Wilson, Michael Wilson's the play. If the question is Kamara or Wilson, I want to play the guy that's actually playing.
Even if Kamara plays, extremely unlikely.
Yeah, you can't play him anyway.
I'm keeping him on my roster just as a spirit thing because he's been such a stalwart of my teams over the last 7 years.
GT, if I choose to split the pot prior to the ship, I'm picking up Phillip Rivers as my quarterback. Damn fucking straight, dude.
I don't think
I would pick up Deshaun Watson. If I split the pot, I'd pick up Deshaun Watson, dude.
Don't you want to win though?
Just for team spirit. No. Oh yeah, actually I do want to win because it goes in your record and all those kind of things. It's nice.
Yeah.
No, actually, if I split the pot, if it's not Yahoo, which I have, my trophies, let's say it was Fantrax, which obviously I don't think I'd split the pot because I don't know the people I'm playing against. But I would actually not want to win because then I get more pissed that I split the pot. You get what I'm saying? I want to lose.
Yeah, I feel like, oh man, I get it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. How many points did Uncle Philip score tonight? I think he did pretty well. It was like 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. So had a pick
18?
and a fumble. So
18?
played pretty well. Is Rice a scary play this week? Well, Rice is not playing this week, Furious. Again, Rashid Rice is not, he's still in concussion protocol, like full concussion protocol. It is Monday. They play Thursday. So like if he was playing Sunday, if they had a Sunday game, I'd say like less than 50% chance he plays. They play Thursday. And also, why the hell would they bring him back? He's not playing. What would you say the odds are, Storey? 10% chance he plays or less? I think it's less.
10%. I mean, he's got to be asymptomatic before he can even get on the practice field, and then he's got to go through a full practice asymptomatic. That's going to be tough to do.
Yeah, ain't happening. Ain't happening, man. St. Brown will play, Furious. He will play because St. Brown doesn't miss games. What a warrior St. Brown is.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that it's a Thursday game. I feel bad for those guys having to play on Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's a short week, but it was an estimated practice report. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But I mean, the dude played on an ankle sprain, and it looked great. I'm not too worried about it.
And that was when their season was less in jeopardy, if that makes sense, than it is now. It's officially like full time. If they lose this game, they're out. I mean, they're probably out if they win out, but they have to win out officially. All right, Storey. We'll answer a couple more questions here. Get them in real quick. If you are not in the Discord, you're not in the Patreon, help your boys out. Support your boys. Shout out to the people that are in there. Appreciate all of you guys. It's not just to support us. You get a lot of good stuff, a lot of insider information. Next year, we're doing private shows, 1 or 2 shows a week just for the Patreon members. You also get into the Discord, which is 65 people strong, community fantasy leagues, guest appearances on the pod, free merchandise, access to us, really is what it is. Access to us, which is, and you get to see Helen Hunt. There she is. Say hello, Helen.
Hello, Helen.
He said hello, Helen. Professionalfanatics.com or link in the description for any of that stuff. Let's see. We'll give you 30 seconds to put a last question in. Otherwise, we are out of here, and it was a great show.
Excuse me, sir. This is private property. What are you doing?
Just taking it all in.
You're staring at my daughter's bedroom.
She's really grown into her body. This is going to be a fun summer for her.
This is bad. We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids. It's no good diddling kids.
There is no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about.
Wow.
Oh, I love Sonny. Let's see. Taysom looked great. Might start him if Kittle is hurt. Furious, you probably have a better option, but if it's standard or half PPR, I'm more likely to want to start Taysom Hill. If it's full PPR, I'm not starting a guy that might have 2 catches, like at best.
Yeah,
even this last week.
I'm probably just going to roll with Tunges.
You said that you love Tunges. You're obsessed with Tunges. So
the fact that he was involved right after the Kittle injury, good news.
He did have 12 rushes, but you know how this goes with Taysom Hill. Like the week you start him, he has 3 rushing attempts and 1 reception.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the week you don't start him, he goes off. And like I heard that he had 1 game prior to this week, 1 game over 3 fantasy points. Now, I think what Furious is saying, and what could make sense is they're on to their, let's see. So Devin Neal was their 3rd string running back to start the year. So they're officially on to their 4th and 5th string running backs. So that's, I think, the upside of that's why they're going with Taysom Hill. But it's also it's a different coaching staff. It's kind of weird because it was always kind of a Sean Payton thing, but apparently wherever he goes, like people are tempted to fucking play Taysom Hill.
Sean Payton is
such Sean Payton.
Oh my God.
Well, he's doing some good work there in Denver, bro.
I'm not convinced that he's not running a bounty program. All right. We got to get out of here.
Where will Hampton get drafted? Last question. Where will Hampton get drafted next year? This will be a 2nd round pick, right?
2nd round, 3rd round.
Yeah.
Late 2nd, early 3rd.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Storey, great seeing you. It was a while. I had some withdrawal without seeing you. And, it was awesome. Again, if you guys want to join the community, professionalfanatics.com, support your boys. And tomorrow nights we'll be doing I think 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. We'll put it in the Discord, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. stream for waivers. And then Storey, I don't know. I know Thursday is it's Christmas, so I'm still doing a show after the games. I don't know if you're spending time with your wife. It'll be a late show, like 10:45. You're welcome to join me.
After dinner,
after
she goes out with her mom, and I just come home and I watch football. So I'll be there. We'll celebrate Christmas together.
10:45. We love it, man. Have some drinks. And all right, guys. Love you. Thank you, Storey. Stay positive. Love your life and respect each other, unlike DK Metcalf. Peace.